Hi guys, and welcome back to episode number 53 of the Couch on Ice podcast. Got some games to talk about, a lot of stuff, smaller stuff to talk about today. Talk a little bit about Seattle and maybe their expansion draft woes. Talk a little bit about the Panarin throwing glove at Marchand, some fines coming up. But before we get into that, I will throw it over to the boys. Let's throw it over to Chase. Chase, what did you get up to this weekend? Nope, no Chase. I think you're muted there, bud.
Oh, hey, what's up? Oh my, yeah, welcome to the day here. Yeah, no, not much, man, not much. Basically, made a snow angel. That was about it.
That's about it. More effort than I did. Absolutely nothing. Watched some puck. Hung out around the house. Made some plans for just like Christmas and stuff. Kind of get ready for that and put up a couple Christmas stuff, which it was like, oh my god. Like,
yeah.
Do you guys feel that way? How do you guys feel about like Christmas decorations? Like, are you pro? Are you like, yeah, let's do it? Are you, I like it, but I don't want to do it? Like, where are you guys in the boat? Do you hate it?
I like it at the right time.
Okay, so here's a better question. When do you put your tree up? When's the right time?
Well, like right
like
about
December
now,
1st?
you know?
Like December 1st type?
The way I find it,
ideally do it.
like the way I find it is like Remembrance Day hits. And that time hits, and you're kind of like, oh, yeah, right. Christmas is like, it actually is like kind of close. Like, holy crap. And yeah, like, I don't know. And then like a few weeks later, you just kind of get that feeling. You start actually like randomly thinking about Christmas for no reason. Like just the occasions, all the times beforehand, and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know. I find that it just comes to you.
You feel it.
Like at
you
that point, in all reality, just do it whenever. So right there, you know, like I feel like it's within this time frame, within a week or two of this time frame, before or after, like December, the start of December.
Okay.
Like it's really, I would say it's more of how you feel it. Like if you really love it so much, like go right ahead and throw it up like in November. Right. I don't care. Do it all winter.
Well, absolutely.
That's one thing I've
like
said.
November fucking 18th or something.
Yeah. So like I mean I get like I don't care when other people do it, but like personally I think there's a time to do it, absolutely, like Jordan said. But all in all, like I'm gonna sound like such a like down in the dumps, like half glass empty type of guy, but like I just don't really like Christmas at all. Like there's the elements I do like. I like spending time with friends and family close. Like that's always a good time. Seeing family I haven't seen for a while, maybe in normal times at least. But like I hate the gimmicky of it. Like, oh, we have to put up a tree. Oh, we have to put up lights.
Oh, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I beg to differ because I have a girlfriend. No, I have a girlfriend who is...
Well, let her do it.
Oh, I do. I do let her do it. But like, I've just always been that person where I'm just like, she's like, oh, help me do this. I'm like, I've never done this because I've never cared enough to put up lights. Like... Why do I want lights up? I've always been that way.
One thing I love is the Christmas lights. Like we should, like all year round, we should have Christmas lights. We should not call them like Christmas lights outside because it's awesome. Like how is it not awesome?
Well, who the hell wants to get up when it's like late fall, early like winter? Get up on the roof where it's cold and icy and put up lights. Just keep them on all year. If you're gonna put up lights, I'm cool with lights. Like if you want lights, but like I just don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally,
doing it. Toss them on randomly. Like it's not like we need.
Don't have to do Christmas colors. Just do regular.
High, but like
do like random colors.
Just, like
do like nice orange and yellow lights or something.
Or drive around and there's like cool stuff going on. You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Stuff. Like it's I don't know. I just wish that we would actually do something like that in general, just for way longer. I think it'd be so cool.
Hey, based on your argument,
town and there's just Christmas lights on or just lights on.
Yeah, but like, based on what you were saying, home, like you don't care that other people do it whenever they do it, then just do it. It's your house. Like just put up lights. Put up lights. Keep them on all year. All year.
I had mine on like a super long time last year. For like months on months. But I don't put up very many Christmas lights. I have my string or something like that. Throw it on there. I'd like a BB-8, man. It died on me though. I had this BB-8 from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the droid.
That was fucking sweet. Yeah, that thing was awesome, man. It was the coolest. It got a little Santa hat. But
Sweet.
yeah, no, it died on me now, so gotta figure something else. So
Yeah,
I think I have
man.
a squirrel. I think I bought an inflatable squirrel.
Well, you
I'm
should
gonna
see
put it
my
up.
neighbor. They have like, I swear, $500 to $1,000 of like air floaty things or whatever on
Oh
their
yeah,
front
Yeah.
lawn.
people go all
It's
in on
stupid.
that.
They have a Santa
Yeah.
Claus. They have a floaty, like a blow up Santa Claus that's bigger than their house. And their house is probably like $400,000 or $500,000.
Oh,
It's a
man,
nice
I
house.
I wanted to get one of those Darth Vaders or those stormtroopers.
Yeah,
just 20
oh,
feet
yeah.
tall.
Those
Like,
things are
holy
sweet.
Shit.
Oh, but
Just exactly have that just hanging out.
no,
all the time. But yeah,
I was just curious what you guys thought because that's all it's been around here for the past like couple weeks, and I'm like, oh, Christmas is so. I'm just so stressed around Christmas.
Christmas
Like,
music is the only thing
awful.
I'll fully complain
Don't.
about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. Don't ever. Yeah, you will never hear us play Christmas music on this podcast whatsoever.
Like, I just don't understand why it has to be for so long.
It's so
like it's already been
annoying.
going on for like a couple weeks or something.
I don't listen to the radio because of it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't listen to the radio.
I mean, I don't listen. There's a lot.
Like regular AM radio. Like, oh my
I'll
God.
listen to the radio to hear maybe new songs here and there. Like if I'm quickly driving into the city or whatever, like going to get groceries, some shit like that quick. But not around Christmas time, because it's every song
to the
is
radio
Christmas.
When I'm at work or something like that. That's
Yeah.
the only time, and that's just the only reason I've ever listened to so many songs I've probably never would have listened to.
Yeah, it's the
Especially
worst.
like 1,000 times because they just both FMs just like we have 30 songs. Like,
they're
nice.
all Carrie
2
or
hours.
Mariah Carey Christmas music songs too. Like, oh my God,
like the odd Michael Bublé.
There's only one. There's only one Christmas song I love, and that's Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song. Have you guys heard that song?
Yeah.
It's time for Hanukkah. Let's put on our yarmulkes.
Oh yeah.
I love that song. It's in the it's so good. That's the only Christmas song I can fuck with.
Yeah, I remember being young in school and listening to those songs because, like, obviously we were young, shouldn't have been listening to them, so it was all like amazing. But so hilarious, man. It was such a revelation at the time. It was like, whoa, oh my God. Holy wow. It's so funny though.
Yeah. All right, well, let's steer out of Christmas music since we all dislike it. And I'll throw it over to Jordan quick because you didn't really get to go what you're doing. Did you do anything exciting this weekend in Nevada there, Jordan? Not much.
Ate some good food. That's about it.
Oh yeah, how was your American Thanksgiving? I forget how all weird the people down south are with that.
Yeah, we didn't end up going to see her family. It was too cold.
Oh, that sucks.
Once the sun's down here, it's wicked cold. The night.
Isn't it like the desert there? Or close to where you live, at least. Like that's what I mean. But like that's why I mean. Like deserts are freezing cold at night and extremely hot during the day. That's why I asked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, jeez, that sucks. But at least
in the mornings it's in the negatives, and then during the day it's like
plus like crazy. Nice. Are you saying 15 Fahrenheit or Celsius? Are you
Celsius.
Okay? Thank God you haven't.
I haven't converted yet.
Okay, please don't. let's not change because they have the stupidest measurements of all time. All time. Oh my God. But let's dive into some puck then. I'll throw over to Chase. Chase had some games he brought up before they wants to chat about. So what's the first game you want to talk about, Chase?
Okay, let's hit it. Oh, go to the old Florida-Seattle game. Can't remember.
Oh yeah, sad face in the good old Florida.
Yeah, hey, finally losing games
at home. First home game first home loss as well.
Yeah,
season.
Drieger spoils it for him. Hey,
yeah, the former goalie
to get his groove going. And
he's played the past couple games. He's been pretty alright.
He's been pretty good. Old Seattle, they've actually been winning games. I'm happy.
They're scoring.
I can't give up on them yet because they actually started winning games when I told them they have to start winning like a good percentage of their games. But yeah, so like Harvey Dent, man, You can't give in. Remember that?
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah, you just gotta yell that to yourself every game, I guess, and hope you keep going. But yeah, like we said, spoiling that record.
The record of home wins. Yep.
That's 12.
Spoiling Spencer Knight's Calder Trophy race.
Yeah,
starting to at least. He's definitely not in the top 5.
Oh, he ain't catching my boy Raymond.
I don't think anyone is. Like, the only one I think could is Zegras, and
Zegs is looking good.
Looks so good right now. Well, like, obviously Mo, but like points wise,
what he does.
I was just thinking points wise. That's
points wise, yeah, no doubt.
That's why my mind instantly goes points wise. But honestly, based on like the points now, it's kind of hard not to give it to Mo instead. I mean, you're a Wings fan. Well, you have a Wings game to talk about after, so let's talk. Let's talk about the Calder.
Anyways, just
do you have anything else?
Thing on
finish on Seattle and Florida.
Just simply, Seattle needs these random games, these random games where you have to like, hey, we'll beat this guy's streak, or like, remember when Vegas was there and they were like playing for the guy that they were like his first
their
game
seventh
against
goalie
and stuff like that.
I thought you were talking about the start of the season when they were on like their 7th string goaltender and we're still winning games.
Yeah, well, it's just the fact exactly they were getting outplayed and all this sort of stuff and not controlling play and all this stuff, but they were there because they wanted to win that game for whoever X team it was or whatever like that, like they tried to pull little stupid things like that and just take suck the life out of everything out of that sort of stuff just to win games. And they didn't win a lot. They didn't look good winning a lot of these games at the start of the first year in Vegas. But
Vegas was the type of person that when they were in a fight, and they were getting like pummeled, they would start talking shit because they knew they couldn't fight. But we're getting popped in the face, so punch in the face, boom, you're a pussy, boom, you're that didn't even hurt.
Got mangled and destroyed, but just somehow comes out on top.
Tires him out and then just pushes him over.
So like simply they need weird things like that, to little revenge meetings and stuff like that for Seattle to keep this going, because like that's what I found seemingly helped the Knights when they started off. So I'm just excited for the Seattle team. But let's get into the Calder race, buddy.
Yeah,
my boy Raymond. Oh, can't believe this, man. It's like I said, it's like Dad Sook. It's like one of our actual players. We have an actual player on our Wings team again.
Is this like who is the last player that you remember as a rookie coming in? Is it Datsuk? Like with Raymond? Like that you're like, I haven't, like, not necessarily like looking and how they like played similar, just like the feeling of like, oh my god, this guy is the best. Like, who's the last guy for you in Detroit that did that?
Well, I guess it would be Larkin. It would be Larkin, because Larkin's been doing some pretty amazing things at times through the last few years. It just never seems to be a consistent thing.
That's why I asked about Raymond maybe being higher.
Yeah, like I wouldn't put him as high as like the feelings you get when you watched like Yzerman and Datsuk and Zetterberg and stuff like that. I just feel like Raymond's more on that level. I've said this before with Larkin. Like, I think he's your best second line center, like the best second line center you can get on like a Stanley Cup winning team.
It wouldn't be that bad if you had 2 Larkins either. If that makes sense. Like someone who is exactly like Larkin, a second liner. One of them can play first line and they'll balance each other out fine. Yeah.
And honestly, Veleno's kind of like not that bad for that projection. He's got a long way to go.
Oh, he got a long way. He's look
how far it took and how long it took for Larkin to kind of become what he's become. And he's looking like he could become a little bit more with a guy like Raymond
surprising
beside him. So if we just get really good wingers and surround them with these, just like, like they're not outstanding centermen, but great two-way centermen.
Yeah, you need those elite wingers. It's very hard to win that way.
You need somebody to be elite. Look at Patrick Kane. You need. It's either like the guy's got to be. Yeah, you need somebody.
But those elite wingers are really hard to plug in at a certain cap hit at what they do, unless they're like a Patrick Kane, Ovechkin, where they control their line. Like there's a lot of great wingers out there who I'm like, I would love on my team or whatever the case is, or love how they play. but they can't drive a
Evander
line.
Kane?
They
Is that how you
can.
feel about Evander Kane?
Yeah, no, I'm good. We'll get into that later too. But no, there's very few. I'd probably say you could count on one hand wingers in the NHL that can control their own line, or do control their own line. I should say, not can, because there's a lot of wingers that can. I would say, but there's probably only a handful that do and are the best players on that line,
consistently,
right?
hey.
Like Patrick Kane is one. Now, I like to throw Huberdeau in that. Ovechkin, like
Ovi's really
Ovi's for sure that
times this year. Like, holy, not having Backstrom. Like,
Oh
wow,
he's always been that like dynamite though. Like Ovi's Ovi.
Yeah, he's just had Backstrom.
Yeah. So he's actually he's definitely had Backstrom to help him for sure. But he's driven that line and kept that pace up.
Yeah.
So.
For
But
sure,
no,
man.
hopefully Raymond can totally be one of these wingers that is just like the best in like top 5 winger in the NHL for you guys. It's looking like Seider's well on his way to being the worst defenseman to play against.
I mean, he's Detroit's best already.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally.
He's Detroit's best player, I think. Seider.
Yeah.
I like Raymond. I think Raymond's been awesome and he does some crazy stuff. Seider doesn't look like a rookie.
No, not at all.
Which is kind of weird to say.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
not
why
in
I
a
feel
bad
like-
way. Like, it's in a even better way.
Yeah, like that's why I feel like I think it's Raymond or him, unless Zegras kind of keeps pumping the tires up here because
I wonder
Seider's
if
just
Seider is
beast,
going
man.
to be what we thought Hedden was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Big,
Hey,
strong, scary. Like, and Hedman's big, strong, scary, but he doesn't really use his size, right? He's never agitating players because he knows he's bigger.
like Mo utilizes everything he's got. Like you can tell he does it every game. You can tell he's smart enough to do it and all that sort of stuff. Like
seems
to just have that miss or that he had a gaff. Like what he created gaffes. Mo doesn't seem to do that. He doesn't just make mistakes continually.
He's the type. Mo is the exact type of player that when I used to play against, is the only type of player that I would take penalties against typically. Like more consistent than your average like speedster or whatever. Like players like him that were just constantly at you, on your heels, cross checking you after 2 whistles, like stuff like that. That's just like, dude, fuck off. Like leave me alone. He's so good at
punch
that.
him in the face.
He's so good at that. Like, and he's gonna draw so many penalties. He's gonna really, really ruin people's days and games. Yeah. So, no, I love Seider. Love Seider.
Yeah, playing like 20-some minutes, man. Like
which
this
is
is pretty epic. Like
22,
insane.
I think, on average.
That's insane.
Yeah, it probably is 22 right now.
I think he's only behind Hronek.
That's crazy. I wouldn't even be surprised if he surpasses Hronek in certain games, at least. If not by the end of the year.
Surprised if he's over Hronek right now. Actually, that's crazy. Like, holy, one guy that old. It's just so crazy how to step in that seamlessly. Like he was super boss in the Europe League last year.
Yep.
To actually step
you were a
into
little
the NHL.
You were a little worried he wasn't going to gel his first year too, Chase, at the start of the year.
Like
not like this well, at least.
Yeah, I was concerned that like he was just gonna
piss off the wrong person
or be a little young at times, and like exactly kind of piss guys off and
in the wrong way.
He wouldn't be ready for them and their strength is kind of what that's what I was thinking. And nobody's doing any pushback seemingly with that guy. So
God no, it doesn't seem like it. They seem like they're gonna get their ass kicked if they do.
I haven't seen anybody like truly actually be like, screw you, Seider. So this is kind of weird.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Would stand a little bit more, but he's a very like hockey player. Like he's not just being a dick to be a dick. Like he did like come in and be a little aggressive on the goalie. So he's just gonna do what most defensemen do, sort of things. He's just a little bit scarier on it.
For sure.
But
for sure.
No, I don't know. I feel like I wonder. Like, do you guys think it'll be like? I feel like Seider almost has the edge because he's playing so many minutes. And
I give it to Seider based on his minutes. This team is extremely competitive now, and they've never been able to say that. And like, there's tons of reasoning where you could be like, oh, this is why. But like the be all and end all is on defense. If you have a bad defense, it doesn't matter how good your offense is, you're not going to win. Like you're going to win games, but like you're not going to be competitive, right? And Sider has turned your defense around like completely, where you're not like half the time worried because people are on the ice. Because
exactly.
He's on so much. Him and Hirona.
I thought Nicoletti was going to be a big help, and he's just of like just a defense. Like he's good. Like
he's been good. He's been very good.
It's just that like we didn't need him to be outstanding or anything like that. I thought he would be the guy with 2 goals and 12 assists, and Moritz would be the guy with 7 assists. You know?
Right.
And Moritz would be maybe the guy that's -7 and not Letty, you know. Moritz is -1 right now on a team that pretty much goes 50-50 on their goals for and against. So, yeah, like 22, maybe playing more minutes than 30-year-old Stanley Cup champion Nick Letty, like pretty psychotic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have anything else on Detroit that you want to bring up while you're kind of on the subject?
No, that's all good. That's all good, man.
I'll throw it to Jordan then, quick.
Actually, wait. They played that Guelph line, dog. They were playing.
Oh yeah, were they?
The other game. Yeah, they had Fabry, Bertuzzi, and Suter together for a little bit. I haven't seen it very much. But
how'd it do for the short sample you had seen? Solid, decent, bad?
No, I don't know. It didn't seem like it stayed very long because they kept. I swear they had Bertuzzi playing with Raymond later. So
right, yeah. Well,
I didn't see it too much, honestly. To be
fair enough.
Serious, I didn't see it very much.
Fair enough. All right, then let's throw it to Jordan. Do you have any other games that you'd like to talk about?
I have one in particular.
Cool. You talk about that while I try and pull up this next clip.
We all know how much I love a good goaltending performance, so it'd be rude of me not to talk about Vejmelka stonewalling the.
Yeah, thank you, because I have that in my notes, so I was going to bring it up.
Milk, man.
I love that.
Love that veggie milk. Like,
do you have the number of saves he made in the game in front of you? Because I do. If you don't,
I do.
Okay, then let her fly.
So Vejmelka faced 46 saves, and he didn't concede a single one.
Yeah, 46 shots.
One of his advanced stats, he faced 5 goal. Well, he had a 5 GSA stat, which is goals saved above expected. Yeah,
love it.
Which is ridiculous.
That's insane.
Awesome. Yeah, he really needed some time off there. Hey, like. You just can't place all these guys all the time, man.
He's never even played in the NHL, and he started the first 10 games. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like that's not normal. That's not normal whatsoever.
Yeah, like this whole it's partly like Winnipeg. Like they are just pretending they're doing so good out there, but they are not trying to score.
They're not trying, really. Hey,
they're not actually trying to score. They're
doing probably
hockey, and they're playing hockey so well, but they're not trying to score goals or something. Like, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm not trying to take anything away from Vejmelka, honestly, because I thought he played like exactly. There was 5 goals. It
was awesome.
There should have been 5 goals.
Yep, really. Absolutely. Jordan,
the fact that the Coyotes even got 1, they had 15 shots in a whole game.
And tell me, who was that player? Do you know?
Antoine Rousseau.
Oh, I love that. And I think it was assisted by like Jay Beagle and like someone else.
Yeah, they got that Dzingel.
Yeah, Dzingel.
And him on that line.
Rousseau. That's so good. I love it.
Sick third line. Much. Unreal.
It's amazing. Oh. Absolutely love to see it. So that's good.
That's their third goal of the year? That line or something?
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know. And know who looks like crazy good on Arizona considering because he has extended minutes. Andrew Ladd has been like points wise been really good. Yeah, because he's their first line winger or something like that.
It was assisted by none other than the greatest hockey player of all time, Louis Eriksson.
Yeah, I fucking love Louis. It's so good. Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for like a couple goals every.
No, I have. Yeah, but I have a question for you. Who's gonna be on the Coyotes next year? Because they have Okay.
Oh
my god, they have
not even close to the same team. Andrew Ladd will be on there because I think they get more picks, or they get what happens there.
If he
something will happen.
Doesn't play, Islanders get more picks, but if he plays or something. I can't remember what the condition is, but they can get picks out of it for if he plays. I think they already get it because he's already played a game. Or lose it. I think they lose a pick.
It's next year.
Oh, is it? Okay. But they guess how many contracts they will have signed for they have signed for next year.
Oh, probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 5.
They have 4.
Oh my lord!
How are you a sports franchise in the best league in that sport and have 4 guys locked up for next year when you have a 24-man roster?
Yeah, like they're literally not gonna play a soul next.
Now
half of these guys,
10 players out of the AHL.
Yeah, well, 7 of them are RFAs or 8. Sorry, so like. You just qualify them and they'll sign at least. But, like, they have their rights still. But, like, that still leaves, like, 10 players that could just walk. That could just walk. So, that's insane. Arizona just fucking
2 forwards that they have on the roster in Andrew Ladd and Clayton Keller. Those are the 2 forwards that are
2 defensemen and Chychrun and Gostisbehere. And Gostisbehere they traded for, didn't sign it. Same with Ladd. Only ones they've signed is Chychrun, Keller.
Shedded contracts.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That's so crazy, man.
That's great.
One thing I can say is that Keller's, I don't know, I'm not saying he's worth the money because that's a lot of money.
He's not worth 7 right now.
But I don't know, if he played on a good team, wouldn't be looking that bad. But
I wonder what Clayton Keller would look like if he wasn't an Arizona Coyote.
He's like 23. Like he's been playing.
He's been playing like 4 years.
He's like the
4 straight years.
Yeah, he's kind of like the last Zegras guy.
Yeah, but the team didn't grow with him.
and he's been just playing stuff for so long.
The team didn't grow at all with him though. But that's because in his first full season he put up 65 points, and then he's been a 40-point guy the rest pretty much. So he had a good year last year actually. 35 points in 56 games. Like that's not that bad.
Yeah, man.
That's around a 60 to 70 point pace. But no, Arizona putting in God's work. We love this team. Man. I love this team.
Actually keep trading guys. Like they could get a whole bunch.
Are they actually not going to get last in the NHL? That's a serious question. I know that's crazy to say. No, that's crazy to say, but but Kessel's not done anything for them anyways.
Yeah, not really. No, he hasn't.
There's some teams in the basement where I'm like, it's possible. The way Buffalo's playing right now too, it's like, ooh, I don't know if Buffalo's ever going to win a game again. Sometimes I look at them like they got some players that play well. But...
Dude, it's so hilarious hearing that Tokarski's being tired and
that's hilarious. Stuff. He's probably never played this much in one stretch.
Holy shit! What a change, hey?
Imagine going from an AHL starter / tandem, playing a decent amount of games. They don't have as many games as in the NHL typically, I don't think. And
it's like 60.
Yeah, it's like 60 some games.
That. And usually kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It's amazing how many starts a guy gets for how many starts a starting goalie gets in the AHL.
He probably gets a lot, but he probably never played as much as he's played for Buffalo to start this year. He's never been relied upon this point. And AHL teams aren't this bad typically. Some are, I guess. Some can be, but the player, you're not playing the best players in the world with a shitty team. You're playing the second tier of players that are pretty good and some right? So this has just gotta be insane.
Andrew Ladd's doing so good because he's an American, man. He's he could be the OG American, the captain, dog.
He's Canadian. Olympic team. Andrew Ladd? It says he's Canadian here. BC.
Oh, really? It says his nationality is the United States.
It says nationality Canada and cap friendly for me. So where are you looking at it?
Oh, Jesus, I'm looking at Phil Kessel. I was like, no doubt, man. I thought Ladd was Canadian as well. Yeah, Kessel's not making that team. That's I was like, no doubt. Andrew Ladd with 11 points in 22 games. Impressive.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's Columbia, the old Napes Ridge.
Yeah.
2 windows open. I wanted to see that trade.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
What that condition was for
I have no
Pick
idea.
is not transferred to Arizona if Ladd plays any professional games in 22-23.
Okay, so if he plays next year.
So next year. Or retires before that season.
I guess I probably could have just like checked on Cap Friendly here where it says 3rd round pick of the Islanders with an asterisk.
Yeah.
That's
so if they
where
can
it would be,
so if he plays next year, if Andrew Ladd does good and then plays again next year, bam.
Yeah.
You got another 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
Or no, 3rd round pick.
Sorry. Yeah, third round pick. But no, for sure. So yeah, I presume that's everything you got on the Yotes there, Jordan?
Yeah.
The Yotes game, just want to bring up Vejmelka.
Cool. Yeah, pretty much just Vejmelka's excellent performance.
Cool. I want to ask this question, but it's kind of like the podcast will go too long if we start talking about Winnipeg a lot. So I'm going to just move on and talk about the Pens games really quick. I'm not going to go over them too much because there's only... I don't remember if there was 2 or 3 since our last podcast. I know of the 2 for sure, so I'm just going to talk about them. Montreal, we played Casey DeSmith in net. Oh my god. He was okay, I guess, but not good enough. I've been saying it all off season. I don't like him as a backup for Pittsburgh. He's not good enough to be... He's good enough to be a backup for someone like a Vasilevsky, for a number 1 Connor Hellebuck, Gibson, like guys that are going to play 60 games and like never come out in the playoffs, right? That's the type of guy you need DeSmith for. Just to like, okay, he'll play 15, 20 games and he'll play okay, but your team is good enough to win. So that's my first issue with this team. We need a new goalie so bad. We need a backup so bad. Jake Allen had one of the best games I've seen him play in my life. He was so good. Montreal wasn't that bad, actually. They were pretty good in the game, all considering. They just seemed like they had an extra jump and tried a lot better. Josh Anderson had one of those games where he was pretty noticeable. Evan Rodriguez playing with Crosby and Gensel, I am loving right now. Rust is out because of, I don't know. I presume he was injured still from the last time he was hurt. That's the only way it makes sense why he was playing the way he was and is out randomly now. So he's going to be out week to week, which sucks, but so be it. Not the end of the world. I like Rodriguez on that line right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it about the Habs game. We just couldn't get the puck past Allen, frankly. He was so good. So good. But
I miss him doing good in the old St. Louis, man. It's so weird when it just went off the rails.
Issue though, he's only good there when he's not a starter. Like he can't start 60 games. He can start 40. But 60 is too much. Like I don't know.
Just so much
you can't rely on him
so
every night. That's the issue.
Such a long period of time that he did so good, but it just
but then would lose a series. Would lose a series or something bad like that is the issue with Allen, right?
Yeah.
So, but no, he was like so good that night. Yesterday we played Calgary, and I can't remember if the Islanders game was before the last podcast or not, but we won 1-0 and we smoked the Islanders, so I won't really talk about that game. We were outplaying them for the whole game. Last night against Calgary was awful. They were not awful. We were fine. Just Jari was amazing again. No surprise. He's been so good lately. Like one of the best. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's second star of the week. So it shows how good of a week he had. He's like 2 or 3 shutouts already in the past 2 weeks. So, but Calgary's good, man. Oh my god, they're so good. I actually look at that team now, and I'm like, if Pittsburgh were ever come up against them in like the Cup final, because that's the only way they can, I would bet on Calgary. Like I would genuinely bet on Calgary. They look so good. they're just so big and strong. They play like a Daryl Sutter team, and it didn't seem like they were, but as the season's going on, more and more and more, I see, wow, this is definitely a Daryl Sutter team, and it's good offensively too. It's offensively capable. They have Lucic on their fourth line now, and we always joked about, worst contract in the league. Under Sutter, he feels like a top 6 forward again.
Oh, and yeah, for sure.
He's been having a great year. Like, I'm pretty sure he's on pace for 20 goals this year already, which is insane.
Yeah, he's got like 6 or 8.
He's got six goals, I think I heard. 6 or 7 as of last night, because he scored the first goal of the game. But no, it's just...
Yeah, no, it's epic, man.
This team's so good.
Good they're playing.
I still do worry about offense from the back end there. Like, I didn't see a lot of it coming, but they were just stretching out. Johnny Gaudreau is a man on a mission. Like,
this is the Gaudreau we all knew.
This is the 100 point a year Gaudreau. Like 99 point, 100 point years. Like, this
elite sniper.
Elite. This is a guy who can win you a series if this Gaudreau shows up. He's dropping back. Sure. He's creating he breaks out a lot of actually plays when they break up in the neutral zone. He's the guy breaking the team up ice. Him and Tkachuk play well together. That first line's just like scary, and Mangiapane's real good. Like, it's not just like a scoring touch where he's like on fire right now. He's just genuinely knows where to be and is smart and so comfortable at the puck. So comfortable at the puck, which isn't great for a young player to be. But
the best thing about the Flames is then their goaltending. Like, obviously Markstrom has been fantastic, but
Vladar has been crazy good too.
Right?
Yeah. I just looked at his stats actually recently, and they're like, oh my god.
The Flames lead the NHL in save percentage with a combined 9.32.
Yeah.
They lead in goals against per game in the lowest with a 1.95.
Yeah.
And they obviously have the most shutouts this season with 7 so
That's
far.
insane. They're so good. And they've scored first out of, I believe, 24 games 18 times. Or something like that. They've scored first. So
stretch of goaltending from this team.
This is an incredible stretch of hockey for a team.
Yeah.
I've never seen a team that wasn't highly touted to be this good. I don't think. Like, I get there's other teams in it. There's a lot of Canadian teams that are actually like killing it right now. But this is the most terrifying team I come up against. Like, yesterday, Pittsburgh was playing good. And I was sitting there like, we're going to lose this game. And like, I'm totally fine with it. Like, I know we're going to lose this game, but this team is just better. They are better than us. So
it was a good game, though.
It was a good game. It was a very good game. Pittsburgh really did work. I've been very impressed with how they've been playing. It was the way they were playing that was pissing me off. I know they were losing as well. That doesn't help. But like, they didn't seem urgent for the puck. But lately, they've been a lot better. Letang is really fiery right now, and I like it when he's that way, because he tends to up his offensive game and jump up in the rush and make really good plays when he does that. So, no, I loved how they played. Just like I said, this team's just better. They're real good. Real good. So, that's all I got on Pittsburgh. Oh, and one other notable mention. I have not brought up him, I don't think, pretty much all year, but Brock McGinn is slowly becoming one of my favorite players we've ever signed. Because never stops moving his feet ever. I've been sitting this season thinking, because we've only had 2 seasons of Tanev, and I sit here and I'm like, do I like him again more than Tanev? And if you know who I am and have talked to me about Brandon Tanev, you know how much I adore this man and how much he is.
I'll see what impact he has no matter what.
Yeah, he's so good on Seattle too. Like, he's the one pick where you're like, yeah, they nailed that one out of the park. But no, I'm slowly getting to a point where I'm like, I think Brock McGinn is better, just because he's a slightly bigger.
Man,
like, I wonder.
I've always loved Brock.
Yeah, so have I.
Random favorites.
Yep.
I've always loved Brock McGinn. I've been watching him for like ever. Same with like. It's so weird good. Seeing Carolina do so good and them not having
give up
and Falk and all these guys.
All these guys they've given up on, it seems like. Nedeljkovic, McGinn, like, Dougie Hamilton.
Dude, Falk, Justin Falk. You've been seeing that
he was
guy
captain
lately? This guy's epic, dude.
He was their captain. Yeah, like
I thought he was gonna be there for like ever. He was.
So did I.
He was the man of that team. It was so epic. He just kind of took a few steps back that 1 year, and they're like, oh well, screw this then or something. Like, I don't know what happened.
I think St. Louis pushed hard for him though, because that was a weird trade when we first saw it. Because they still had they still had Pietrangelo. Like, it seemed like they were trying to prepare for Pietrangelo's leaving. Like, they knew he was gonna leave.
I know. Hey, I still feel like Doug Armstrong knew he was leaving.
I feel like he did, because he made a lot of weird moves where it's like,
but it's a lot easier to trade somebody away than it is to like try to acquire somebody. Yep. So like you make the move, and then like Petro does sign, and you have to trade Perioc or something, like. Yeah, people will pay still for that. So, like,
fair enough.
I think that I understand why he did it, but yeah, it was very confusing. But
very.
Here they are now again, like they're just so good. Fine because they've had Falk for a couple of years, you know. But I gotta say, like, he looks like he's back. Like, Justin Falk is back, man. He looks like he was again, just being a dominant force on the ice, jumping around, getting involved in the play constantly, because that's what he does best. And I'm just, like I said, I'm so sad that none of these Carolina guys are on Carolina. Like,
I know.
And these guys, like, Lindholm, like, man, like they have probably better side guys. Maybe not Brock McGinn. That was a tough loss to me a year ago. But getting Svechnikov and these guys in place.
Yep, for sure. They definitely have a lot of their core. Their core is set. Like, we know who their core is. It's Aho, Svechnikov, Teravainen on offense. And then you could probably throw Nikish in there. Nikish and maybe Trocheck. Yeah. I'm going to wait on Trocheck till next year based on 1 year left on his deal. They're the type of team that's totally like, we'll let you walk. We'll let you just go.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. With Trocheck, he's not like I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah. For sure. He's been great. He's been great. But he's just. And then Slavin on the back end.
Some of these guys that have gone, like, who do you want? Trocheck or Rask or, you know? Like,
probably
Trocheck and stuff.
For sure. I'm just going to take a step back on Pittsburgh, too, and just two more things. Fenway Sports Group signed the agreement to purchase the Penguins, so it's official now, which is great. Kind of knew that was going to happen, but just news. And Brian Burke came out talking about Malkin before the game yesterday and said he still needs a bit of time. He's still a while away. He's still a ways away, so don't be hollering yet. Apparently, I imagine it's probably another month or two before we get Malkin back. Probably after Christmas time, is when I'm thinking he'll be back. Maybe even like just before the Olympics to get some reps in to warm up for that. So that's some news that was a little disappointing. I just want to bring up about Pittsburgh before we move forward. So, do you guys want to talk about the Brady Tkachuk, Brendan Lemieux thing now? Because we're going to talk about it, so I should probably bring it up. If you haven't heard, there is a bit of a feud going on with Brendan Lemieux and Brady Tkachuk, as during the game there was a big scrum and Brendan Lemieux appeared to have bit Brady Tkachuk's hand, and his hand was bleeding and didn't look great. And I don't know if you read the comments after about what Brady Tkachuk said, but I will quickly bring them up here. As do you guys have it? I'm just bringing them up right in front of me quick. So do you guys have anything like quickly to note on this before I bring up exactly what Brady Tkachuk said about?
The only thing I found weird about it was Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, defending. I don't necessarily think that's weird because
defending a teammate, but defending a teammate who bit somebody is a little different.
Yeah, for sure. And like they haven't there was no like actual like proof that's like you saw him bite because of where the scrum was. The video was really tough for it, but like at the same time though, you saw his hand, it looked exactly like a bite mark. He definitely did it. He is to have an in-person hearing over Zoom sometime in the next couple days. They didn't give a date. At least I didn't see one. Here's what Brady Tkachuk initially had to say about it. I think it's the most gutless thing anyone could ever do. It's outrageous. Kids don't even do that anymore. He's a complete brickhead. He's got nothing up there. And I can't find the exact comments anymore because not everyone's taking them down. But some other stuff he was saying too was that that Brendan Lemieux is the worst type of player. His teammates don't like him. Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him in this league. All this stuff and like ranting. And then Matthew Tkachuk, Brady's brother, came out defending Brady as well, saying, yeah, he's right. The guy's completely gutless. You don't bite in the NHL. That's for babies and stuff like that. So Tkachuk brothers staying together, not surprising. And then like Jordan mentioned, Quick had his comments saying that the Brady Tkachuk's comments on Lemieux are complete garbage. So, yeah. What are you guys' like thoughts on the situation? Thoughts on a suspension of how long? What would you guys do as player safety? Like, where are your guys' minds at instantly with this? And not necessarily sides, but what? I'll throw it to you, Jordan. You can kind of start it. You can.
Yeah, the first thing I think is what Brady Tkachuk said is not wrong. Like, the first thing kids are taught in sports is there are a few rules. You don't bite.
I think that's the first thing kids are taught in life.
Exactly.
I think of it this way. When you think back to when you were in like kindergarten-ish, if you can think back the time, can you remember a lot of kids who were biters? No, there was typically one or two kids who were like biters. Like growing up
as like city schools, so like, you had biters.
Well, stuff. Jordan has a crazy story about one.
We didn't have one guy.
Fair enough. You lived in
being that guy.
Yeah, you lived in buttfuck nowhere. So if you were that guy, you were the real weird kid in school. But Jordan, didn't you, I remember you telling me a story, but you're like daycare. Some kid like bit you. Like, can you just quickly tell that story since it's relevant? I think it's so funny.
I would have been like 9-ish.
Yeah. How old was this kid?
I was going to
2 years younger.
I was going to this daycare. Yeah, this kid would have been like 2 years, maybe more younger than me. It wasn't fully there in the head. I'm not sure what was wrong. He wasn't diagnosed with anything, and he wasn't like, he didn't have special help.
No,
like, you could tell he wasn't all there in some way. So he was riding this little tricycle thing. I don't fucking know. I was older, and all I wanted to do is he got off of it, and I just wanted to ride around on the little tricycle and fucking be bored.
Right.
You're an older kid, you're bored, you're fucking around. So he didn't like that I took it right after him. So he was like getting mad at me and getting all up in my face, making his like noises. And then he grabbed it and like threw it at the ground. And I went to pick it up, and the kid fucking bit a genuine chunk out of my neck.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Shit. Bit your neck.
Yeah, like a fucking vampire.
It's like the back.
Bite me in the neck. That's about it. God damn.
Oh, I remember you telling me this story. It's so good.
That's so insane, dude.
So based on Jordan's story, Brendan Lemieux was that kid growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's insane that you bit your neck though. So I still laugh about that. Oh my god. But no, so back to the Lemieux such stuff. I'm not surprised with what Brady has said about him like that, because we all know who he is. We all know Brendan Lemieux is related. His dad is Claude Lemieux, right? It's his dad or his uncle. I always mix those two. But anyways, he's very close relation with Claude Lemieux, who's arguably the biggest asshole player to play against in the league ever. One of top 5, top 3, like one of those guys that you're like, oh, I hated when that guy was playing against us, like for a lot of bad reasons and a lot of just. He was worse than the Tkachuks, let's say that. If the Tkachuks are complaining about something, it's probably pretty bad. But where do you guys stand on like a suspension or a fine or something like that?
Yeah, I think it'd be like 2-3 games or something like that. Like, kind of my guess. I don't think they usually suspend a guy for too long.
Yeah, I think
on this in the past,
because that's like 5,000, right?
You think that's like a $5,000 fine for biting?
Well, no, I'm saying the max amount.
Yeah. Something.
So
like
I'm saying fine him the max, and then I think a couple games off. I don't think it's something like you should ban the guy for life, but like he definitely needs to sit down, cool down, and realize what he did was not able to happen again. That can't happen again.
He's a repeat offender. So, and that's like always a comment. If you're going to bring that up with Kadri, you have to bring that up with Brendan Lemieux. I think it's ridiculous that you can just say, oh, it's okay for Kadri to be suspended for 9 games for a hit that was a little high. But Brendan Lemieux can get a fine for biting a fucking guy. Like, everyone's hit a kid to the head once in their career by accident, at least, if you played hockey. Right?
Any sport,
you've clobbered a kid by accident where it was definitely dirty. Now, I asked the same question. Have you ever bit a kid while playing sports?
No.
Like that, like, no.
At least not on purpose.
No. That's just like such a gross, messed up thing to do in a scrum. Like, I don't care if someone's putting their hand into your teeth. Like, you don't bite them.
Well, and
I would rather do what Marchand did.
You think they're a child.
Oh, absolutely.
You hear somebody bit somebody in a sport, you're like, oh, is that a kids league?
Yeah. Or is it Luis Suarez again?
Yeah, exactly.
If you know soccer, you'll understand that.
Italians came out again.
Chiellini pissed him off again. But no, I think it should be 5, honestly, at least.
I would love it.
I would give him a 5 game to 8 probably for that. If you're giving certain of these suspensions out, gotta give it for biting. How long did they suspend Marchand for licking? That's decent comparable. Like, because I would probably do like 2 more games than what they gave Marchand. Marchand.
Yeah, from what I understand, I think the last time there was a biting incident, it was like only 2 or 3 games. So I'm assuming it'll be around there. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like I've heard like other stuff that's gone on since then, but I don't remember the last time I've genuinely heard like biting where it was this. But like he was bleeding. Like the other ones where it was like a little bit of an imprint. Not that biting's ever okay, but it seemed like Brendan like actually bit down. He's done stuff like this before. He's done dirty plays. He's been suspended many times. So I don't know. I see 5 to 8 personally for that, just based on what his name is as well. That's just my prediction. So, do you guys have any final comments on the Chuck and Lemieux?
It's just ridiculous. That's all I
say. Honestly. Absolutely. So I'll move forward then. Let's what we brought up Marchand. Let's bring up his suspension. Marchand was suspended 3 games for slew-footing OEL, and I think that's pretty fair based on, like I said, repeat offender and the slew foot. I watch it and I'm like, I don't know if he did that on purpose because it looked like his legs were spread out before he swept them, like well before, and he was just trying to like angle, and the way they kind of came in together, like you're on skates. I don't think it was completely intentional, but I definitely think he meant to like knock down OEL. And the way OEL fell, if he had landed on his right leg, he probably could have been done for his career.
Probably would have broken it.
There's so many like scary things when I see people do stuff like that where the other person could fall on their leg awkwardly. It scares the crap out of me because I'm instantly like thinking worst case, like they're done. Their career's gonna be over. Like they're gonna get seriously hurt from that. So I think that's why. And with all the slew footing in the NHL this year, it seems like there's a lot. Have you guys heard this many slew foot suspensions and fines in one start of the year?
God, no.
There's been like 6. LeBanc was suspended. Marchand's been suspended. PK Subban's been fined 3 times already this year. Like it's I don't know. I hate it. I hate slew footing. Like it's a deserved 3 game suspension, I would say, for Marchand. Do you guys have any other Just based on his name, based on the slew footing act, and how injured the OEL could have been. It just give him 3 games, move on. And one other final Boston note: there is been a trade request out of Boston. Jake DeBrusk asked for a trade this weekend, and there is 9 to 10 teams seriously inquiring about him right now.
See, like, I'm pretty sure they've been trying to trade this guy for like 2 years, so I don't know.
I've been hearing that too, but I don't know. Like, there's also a difference. It's probably him. His agent came out and said he asked for a trade.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
that's probably what's changed.
Like, I'm assuming they mutually were okay. And probably. Like, yeah, if there's a trade, whatever, in the last year or two, like, it was probably like, yeah, that's fine or whatever.
Well, I'm pretty sure there was one last year. It was close to Edmonton. There's one to Edmonton.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
like, I thought he requested it last year, but obviously it was this was Boston trying to actively move him the last couple of years then.
This last year, they were definitely listening open for him.
So, yeah, pretty good. I like to hear this, man. Get him out of there. I think he'll do good somewhere else. He just hasn't balanced and worked that well with that team. And, like, I haven't really given him the top minutes. They haven't really just been we'll try him.
I have a trade, just thought this off the top of my head. 2 players that are disgruntled. What if they did something along the lines, you can change the picks and prospects however you'd like. You go like a second DeBrusk for Kravtsov, or like a third and DeBrusk for Kravtsov.
Yeah, I was thinking that Dylan Strome too. You could go that direction.
I don't know if they're trading him anymore, though, because it's a new GM, it's new coach. Yeah. Like, things have changed. They got a lot bigger things to worry about than trading Dylan Strome.
Like, I don't.
But definitely don't mind that for a center.
Something like that doesn't sound like a bad idea with like a Strome or a Kravtsov or whatever. Who was the other name they had out there? I guess Domi's technically kind of out there, isn't he?
Yeah, but you don't trade DeBrusk for Domi, probably. Hey, would you? I wouldn't.
Wonder if Domi's a guy that Boston would.
I don't look at Boston and Max Domi and say, "Yup, that'll work." I never once have looked at that I don't think that'll work. Domi's a guy who needs to be in the perfect situation to be successful. And based on how the second line is, I mean, I guess you got Taylor Hall. That's probably the best winger he's had ever. Domi, so maybe it's not that bad. So I just
wonder how that would work.
Yeah, for sure. So just wanted to bring him up because he's out there in trade rumors right now. Let's slide.
Where's he from?
Jake DeBrusk is from Alberta, I believe. I think he's from Alberta.
Nice.
I don't know for sure.
Let's go, Calgary. Let's go. Make it happen.
Edmonton. He's from Edmonton.
No way.
Yep, dead ass from Edmonton. So that's why the rumors were all going like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Let's hope.
Well, and his dad. Well, his dad is in
those 2 teams.
Yeah, his dad is like the audio guy for the Oilers, or one of the audio guys. He talks. Louis DeBrusk.
Louis DeBrusk.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so
got that DeBrusk in there.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, that's. Do you guys have anything on Boston that you want to bring up? Because those are the only 2 things. I'm just gonna start bringing up teams. So if you want to add on to what I'm bringing up with the teams, just jump in. Okay.
No, I'm good with Boston.
Yep, just jump in when you guys feel if I'm moving on too quickly. I got one thing about Colorado. Nathan MacKinnon looks like he's set to play Wednesday against the Leafs after missing 8 games. So that'll be good for Colorado to finally get some of their players back, and hopefully it stays that way. That's all I got for Colorado this minute. And Cale Makar is playing extremely good right now. I believe he's 3rd star of the week this week. I'll see how many points he has throughout the season, but he is playing like Cale Makar plays. I don't know how to describe it. He's got 20 points in 16 games and 9 goals. That's insane.
One thing I wanted to bring up for the Oilers was the all-time blocked shots record has been broken.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's jump up there.
No longer Brent Seabrook. It is now Chris Russell with 2,000 blocks.
Did you guys also see right now, statistically right now, Chris Russell, strictly based on analytics, so don't take any, take it with a grain of salt because of that. He is the 20-something best puck-moving defenseman in the NHL this year.
That's quite funny.
That's like crazy. Hilarious. Just based on his breakout passes and all that such. So, yeah, and sticking on the Oilers, McDavid, I forgot to bring this up last podcast, but McDavid is the 4th fastest player to reach 400 points, passing, I believe it was Bobby Orr third, or yeah, I can't remember if he passed Bobby Orr or he's right behind Bobby Orr. But that's crazy. Shows how good McDavid is and why. I mean, he's just the best player in the world. So, wanted to bring that up. Let's talk a little bit about some more trade talk. I'll throw it over to Dallas. Dallas have been frequently called about John Klingberg to see what they're going to do. And the most aggressive team is the Carolina Hurricanes right now. So,
yeah, wouldn't that be gross?
That would be nasty. And that just fits. Klingberg is a 5 times better Tony DeAngelo. That's what I look at Klingberg, and not personality wise, obviously, but the way they play. So I think Carolina would be the best fit for Klingberg. And
yeah, I feel.
I wonder if
Dallas is going to need to get something back, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why need a defenseman. You can't just trade Klingberg and just be we'll be fine.
Probably
for picks or something like that. I don't feel like they're making a deal like that.
They might though, because you can also flip those picks for a D-man, right? That's. If you're using it to facilitate our trade,
when it comes down to these guys trading, they usually don't make two trades all the time. They usually
typically
make one trade, but
it depends how they do. Dallas too, because currently Dallas is 21st in the NHL. It's not looking bad, but it's definitely not looking like they're for sure a playoff team by any means. So, and plus teams are just calling because the last year of Klingberg's deal, if he's not going to re-sign with them, might as well get an asset for him. So, I wonder if what they do with all these players. They got a couple of guys that if they really wanted to sell and get some assets and just kind of reset this year and then go for it again next year or something, there's a couple of players you could trade away for pretty penny. Klingberg, you could easily get a 1st round pick out of. Joe Pavelski, you could. So could Radulov, maybe a second.
Better doing that right now or in the next year or something like that, making moves like that, shedding guys, than it will be the next year paying for somebody or the year after.
Absolutely,
paying for somebody to bring in to make your team better.
I agree,
because you'll get better if you
make the right moves at the right time. Yeah, and you bring up a defenseman to come back. That defenseman's probably Ethan Bear, hey? Or
no doubt.
It's either Ethan Bear or probably Brady Shea for cap. Shea's locked up for 3 years. I know he's got no move clause, modified, so 10 teams. So we'll have to see how Dallas shouldn't be on that list, but
when's Jake Gardner coming off the old IR?
Yeah, not this year. I believe he's out for the whole year. Pretty much.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his shoulder's gone and he's done.
I thought he was coming back late year or something.
I don't think so. I think he's out the rest of the season, pretty much, or at least till the end of the season. That they buried it. They're burying his contract this year. That's how they can afford everyone. Actually,
I don't. Well, he's on LTIR. So
yeah.
It doesn't cost them. So they can.
Well, that's what I mean.
They're money. They must have known it was all year. I thought.
Yeah.
Say it was an all year thing.
No, so it's just an all year. It's an all year thing based on because that's how they got Kotkaniemi. I'm pretty sure it's because he was out. Because we made those. Remember we were doing those trades and you tried to trade Gardner, but they must have known. But
and then the next day put him on IR.
Yeah, so
that was cool.
Cool. Let's move forward to the Minnesota Wild really quick. First of all, they are killing it right now in the league. They're 8th in the NHL and just beat Tampa. They're 14-6. So you love to see that. They're super dope this year. But they're also set to retire Mikko Koivu's number in March, which will be which is well deserved. This is the first Wild player to have their number retired, except for the number 1 because of their fans, which I think is the stupidest thing in the world. But
they did number 1.
Yeah, the number 1 retired for their fans. They did that when they first became a team.
Really?
Or yeah. They're the only team in hockey that's Well, not the only team in hockey, because the Seattle did it too.
I guess.
I think there's another team that might have done it, but like they're the only team that's like.
The Kraken chose a weird number, right?
Yeah, they chose number 1. Like that was the most popular goalie number 10 years ago. Not as much anymore, but no, it's just weird. I think that's dumb. Like if you're gonna get the fans, like give them number 100 because it's not a hockey number. Like don't take away from a player that's gonna have that number. I think that's just stupid. Unless it's for a legit player that did something special for your franchise.
Yeah,
don't make
really
sense to
just
me.
Trying to put your fans on a pedestal off the bat. Like
you're just trying to like kiss their ass, frankly. Yeah. Hey, please don't leave us. I know we're bad, but you're number 1 fans for being here because we suck. Like that's
to me, the Kraken one makes way more sense because like I don't see us going past 32. Really.
Oh, I do.
Feel like this is like maybe, but not like soon in any way, shape, or form.
Not soon, but in the next.
So I feel like that was
years.
actually not a bad memento, as in like, because like I'm pretty sure they want the league to be at 32 because it's fully balanced and all that sort of stuff.
So
like,
far, until Batman's done though.
Yeah, and the NFL's been 32 forever, and it's not like they don't make enough money that they could have like probably a whole other league.
Football's also like way bigger than hockey, so like more teams means more. But that's why I mean like for more teams for the NHL means more money for everyone involved. Each team gets money out of it. The league gets money out of it. Like there's not much downside for the NHL money standpoints, which is really what they care about. They really don't care about anything else except for the money. It's a business. Like it is a business. I get that. You got to mend your business properly, but it's very corporate sometimes, which I hate. And no, I wouldn't be surprised if they go more. And with the whole Batman, I don't even think Batman's going to be our commissioner soon. Hopefully in the next like 5 years should be out.
Well, yeah, obviously the guy's getting old in general.
Yeah, but he's been here a long time. Like if you were to say 10 years ago, oh, he'll be gone in 5 years, like people have probably been like, I don't think so. So it just seems like more and more with all this bad stuff coming about the NHL, it seems like a good time for the NHL to rebrand its commissioner and kind of move forward. But plus, let's just not talk about Batman.
You don't like the old Batman, or like?
Oh, I can't stand him. I don't like any of those type of people though. Like they're not great people. They think of business before they think of human emotion. Yeah, they're there for the money. They don't care about people. Like just listening to that press conferences about the Cal Beach thing made me sick to my stomach. Listening to Gary Bettman and who's the assistant commissioner or whatever? Bill Daly. Bill Daly. Hate those two. They're just like, I mean, as does most people. They're there to be hated.
I don't know. I did not expect them to be showing emotion. And
no, you don't expect it.
I don't know why.
I don't want them to cry
on this fucking thing. Like, but
it's compassion. They didn't even show like any compassion to it. Like I understand you don't expect that stuff.
Listening to these fucking people trying to make them sound bad because that's what
they are bad. They probably knew. The NHL knew. Is the issue, right? Like they're definitely at fault.
Yeah,
the Blackhawks and the NHL for not dealing with Kyle Beach's situation. They said
NHL
it.
Knew.
Yeah, the PA knew. That's what they're doing a whole bunch of investigations on. The NHL PA knew about it and then buried it as well. So it's just those type of people. Like I don't know, like how can you like someone who, when someone goes through a traumatic thing, they just go, oh, well, we're not going to pay for it. That's the first thing they say.
I thought they didn't know like any details. Like they knew there was something weird or something like that, but I thought they didn't actually know.
Yeah, and Kevin Cheveldayoff and Bergevin and them had no idea about the meeting too. Oh, until we found out they did. That's the issue, right? Like they're lawyers.
They know about the meeting. Like,
not at first though. Not until they got caught.
Well, yeah, because you're not just going to admit all this stuff.
Why would the NHL admit it then?
Done.
Why would
you just do the whole lawyer dodge around every question? Because that's what you do in these weird situations.
Okay, but that's where I jump back to the NHL.
And then they did all the talks afterwards.
But you think the NHL is different than the other people working for the teams? I think they're probably worse. I imagine. They're definitely not better. They're equal.
Well, yeah, as an organization, you have a responsibility.
There's it's just there's people like you just gotta have a human element. You don't have to stand in front of a camera and be like crying your eyes out about like Kyle Beach's situation, but you can at least not be like, oh well, it this stuff like didn't happen and this, so we're not going to deal with it because it's not our issue. Like, just don't be a dick about it. It's that simple. Someone through a traumatic event because of your league. Just own it. Just own it.
Well, you're asked. I think they are by being there. I would say, would they not be? And like, you know, going through making the Chicago Blackhawks deal with all this, pay for all this stuff. Like, technically, to me, they don't really need to do anything. They need to make sure the Chicago Blackhawks clean up their mess. Or is it the NHL's?
I get it, but
this is what happened in the Chicago organization. That's what I feel like.
They're all in the same team, though, is the issue.
I don't know how
right?
Yeah.
Like that's where the issue comes. Like, how can one be innocent and one be guilty when they're on the same team?
Like as like an NHL team, like your owners and the NHL.
Yeah.
Like the Blackhawks and Gary Bettman are on the same team, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they are. All of them are. Yeah. All owners and the commissioner are on this like same boat with it. They don't want bad press out. That's terrible for business. So they cover it up, and there's been multiple. That's why all this stuff is starting to come out, because people are pushing back, like reporters are, and finding stuff out, and then they go, caught me, I lied, sorry. Don't even say sorry actually, but like they're like, damn, couldn't get away with this one. And any commissioner in any league like that isn't different.
Goes. Like, it doesn't matter what you go into or what situation is. Like, that's how everybody acts, because you do that because that's the law. That's what your lawyer tells you to do.
I understand that's what you're supposed to do, but
what your lawyer tells you to do.
Does the lawyer sit there and say, I want you to just show no compassion and give a crap about the situation? No, like, it's just a human element to just show. Can you not show any?
I just don't understand what you're looking for out of them.
I'm not looking for anything. I'm just, other than...
Sounds like it.
Not really. I just don't like them. I can not like someone and think they're bad definitely. People. I'm saying they're bad people. End of story. That's it. I don't have any other like, wow, I want them to do this, but I think the commissioner is going to change soon based on bad press, and that's where I was leading with it, and that no matter who they bring in, they're going to be bad people as well, more than likely. Right? Like, that's the job. I understand that. You hope not, but that's the way the world works. You just said too with law, and you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. It's just, it's like, well, shit. You replace that's how commissioners are. You replace asshole for the next asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
They're no different. No league's any different. And I'm not trying to say, oh, the NHL's worse than the NFL for that. No, I'm definitely not saying that. But just saying,
a bunch of stupidity is all that's going on here with this crap. I can't even believe this. What do you do? I guess, like
nothing we can do, because
hopefully
we're not the type of people that run the league. It's just that simple.
It's just crazy that like if they both swept it under the rug, that's definitely very bothersome. You know?
Yeah. Well,
as in like the NHL like knew like what was going on, and Chicago knew what was going on, because definitely the Chicago people knew what was going on.
They knew. Yeah, okay. I'm willing to agree with you for sure.
NHL, like, I don't know about Chicago being like, this is exactly what all happened.
No, they definitely didn't go like tell them everything, but the NHL knows a lot more and could have acted on something, because Beach went to the NHLPA, and that's when they didn't help him. That's where the issue with the NHL lies. It's not if this had happened and then the NHL was instantly like, yes, we will help you with this, and we deal with it, and they dealt with it, I don't have anything bad to say about the NHL. Just do the right thing. Yeah, it's not that hard. I've heard this said
exactly. If you have,
it's not that hard to be a good guy.
Yeah, if you have that incline, like, why not poke it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So that's just where, like, my instant issues come, where it's, like, neglectance, but, like, it's not, like...
Yeah, no, I understand how people
forced
feel, how you guys
neglectance.
feel. It's, like, it's just straight up, like, yeah, it's not, nobody looks good in this at all.
And I get that they're all lawyers and they're all like that, but you can turn off your lawyer face for 5 minutes and just be like, and I'm not saying, like I said, I don't want to cry, but him just going like, I am sick to my stomach that I was in charge while this happened. Is that hard to say? Yeah, this happened under my watch, and I feel absolutely terrible. I want to do everything, and the NHL is full support and to help whatever you need, right? Something simple as that. That's not going to get you into legal trouble. You say you're wrong a bit, guess what? Everyone's wrong. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense to me how you can turn it off for 5 minutes. 5 minutes and just be like a good person. Like, think about the human element.
Who was that one? Who's the one guy? Aldred or not?
Brad.
The other guy, McDonough.
Oh, McDonough. No, yeah. The CEO of whatever, the president of Chicago. Yeah, McDonough. Like John McDonough.
Yeah, like what he said and how that. Oh yeah, went. Like you deserve to go to jail for an extra year or something because of just you blatantly said no way.
Yeah,
and, like was a real weird guy about it. Like
that's
difference super bad.
Exactly.
Like, I'm fine with you being the lawyer and being like, oh, I just gonna dance around this because that's what I'm.
But I don't think that's
like, I can understand
better.
That. I don't like it. I don't. No, I fully agree.
It's definitely not better.
Be a real human being.
Yeah, that's all I want. There, I answered what you asked me. What do you want them to do? I want them to show they're actually people and not robots. Show a tiny bit of compassion, and that would make me happy. It would go a long way in my world if just people that were in high-up companies came out and said, I was in charge, this situation. Yeah, just be real.
In a situation. Like,
stop pretending.
To be real for like 5 minutes here.
They put kid gloves on and
with us, and then we'll move on or whatever and kind of go from there. Like
absolutely.
Yeah. Robots, dog, gotta be a robot.
Plus, just certain things like during the press conference too. We're gonna end on this now because we talked a long while. But they like with Rick Westhead, who like was the reason why his Blackhawks things came out, was one huge reporters that did a lot of the work. They wouldn't ask him a question until Pierre LeBrun was like, hey, can my coworker Rick Westhead get a question after an half hour, 45-minute press conference?
Yeah, that was
like they were intentionally avoiding, and like it's just stuff like you don't need to do that.
Yeah,
you don't need to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And like, were they just scared of the fact that he was going to ask him about like, hey, are you going to do anything about this?
Because like, whatever guaranteed. Happened in
are you going to do anything about that? And it's like, well, I'm going to make the Chicago Blackhawks. Like, this isn't technically like we didn't do like they're part of the NHL is what I'm assuming. Like, we didn't do this, so like I can't just be like, yes, we're going to help with that. Like, we're going to make sure the Chicago Blackhawks deal with this sort of stuff. Like
my thought is issue though, the NHL could have bought a win. Literally bought a win with that though by saying, sure, here's $100,000, which is nothing. Like Gary Bettman could have said, I will pay you. Yeah, true. Well, we would have found out.
Yeah, we'll do something.
We would have found out if they did. But like all they had to do is say,
like Donald Trump and these guys do that shit all the time.
Politicians are a little bit different because that's all they do is lie. And I would say it's a slightly different with political and the league business owned, but because they need our fan base. The politics don't need other people's fan, right? They can say and do whatever they want.
Half of the people to vote.
So no, it's just I think it would have been such an easy win. Be like, here's $100,000, here's $150,000. Look, I'm Batman. I'll pay it myself. That was my like 5% of my signing bonus this year. Here you go. Like it's not that hard to just be like, yes, here, please get the medical attention. We're sorry we didn't deal with it as a league and as Chicago. This is paying back for letting this happen. Because if they dealt with it, it never would happen to a kid. So based off that, it is not directly their fault, but it happened because of them not making action. So, but
exactly, you were, whether you like it or not, you were part of it. Like as the NHL, exactly like you're saying, you're together with these organizations. You have to pretend like you're in the goop with them. You know.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. 100% agree with that. So
hopefully one day.
Hopefully.
Like, businesses like do actually act like that and like stand there beside you with your workers and stuff.
Yep. That'd be nice. Yeah. That'd be nice. If we can, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
We'll all fight and kill each other before that happens.
Yeah, 100% right. Let's wait and see which. It's the same thing. It's the same thing we do with people come in. It's like, well, hopefully this guy's better. Well, we were wrong. He's the same. No changes. They go to school to learn how to act like this. Like, all right. Let's get back to some hockey news because I just got a few more things and then we'll talk about Seattle. Let's kick it off with the Devils, and Jack Hughes is set to return after a 17 game absence. So that's super big boost for the Devils. They've played really well without him, and I'm excited for him to come back because he was having a really good start to the season. And yeah, I got nothing but happy things to say about that. I love Jack Hughes. I'm so excited to see what type of players he's going to be. Hope he's going to be just the best player. Super exciting. So that's how I got on the Devils. And let's get in some waiver talk quick. We got 2 big players put on waivers, which both ended up clearing. We got Matt Murray, who was put on waivers and cleared it today. Oh boy. Let's talk about this situation.
I'm really sorry if anybody listened to me because I thought he would actually have a somewhat decent bounce back season. I did not expect him to be
watched him win
in any way, shape, or form.
No, I watched him win my team 2 Stanley Cups 4 years ago. Not long ago. This isn't like a 36-year-old goalie who's been around, won, but it's just past his time now, and maybe he's getting pushed out of the NHL because he's just not good enough. No, this is like a 28-year-old man. Not even. I think he's younger than that. I think he's 26. Who has won 2 cups and is really struggling. Really struggling. I look at this and I don't even know what you do with Ottawa. What do you do? Do you just say, okay, we'll just wait until the contract's over, I guess?
But how can you burn $6 million?
I don't know.
It's such a shit situation.
It is a shit situation. I know it's hard to just say hey, we'll burn $6 million, but at least you're not in cap hell. You're not in cap hell, so you got time, which is nice. Now this offseason, there's some players who are gonna get decent contracts for sure. Alex Formanton will probably get $1-2 million contract. Josh Norris, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an 8-year, $6 million just locked up. There's a couple guys who just eventually gonna need some big contracts. The way Nick Paul's playing, he's gonna get paid. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know what this team's gonna do right now. With Matt Murray, he's 27, making $5-6 million. But no, I don't know. It's a bad
crazy.
I guess you just gotta hope he bounces back and next year when your team plays better.
I've been hearing his attitude going down to the AHL has been okay, surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He knows. He definitely knows. He's a good guy. Matt Murray, I've never sat there and been he's never I've never heard him complain. Genuine. I've never heard him say that I'm a better goalie and I deserve this. Never. He is such a nice guy, it seems. Seems like a great teammate. Everyone seems to like him. Just not the way he plays right now, clearly. So, I don't know. And Ottawa's coach, DJ Smith, came out and said, we need a goalie to start winning us some games because we're playing decent, but our goalie isn't. Which it's kind of hard to disagree when their stats are what they are.
Yeah, you simply just don't trust
and
the goalie.
Nobody trusts their goalie.
Can't do that.
Their defense is not good enough either. That's a different story. But
we'll mix a little Seattle in with this because their goaltending hasn't been great, but it's been good at times. Grubauer's come up big at times and stuff like that. There's been flashes of the goodness there, so you can kind of hold on to it, not just give up.
Absolutely.
Situation, which now it's starting to turn around. Drieger's found his game a little bit. Hopefully that sort of stuff continues. None of this happened in any way, shape, or form with Murray. They played him. He failed.
Never played good, and never played good, which just sucks. I hate to say that because I loved him, and I thought this guy was going to be top 3 goalies in the NHL. when he was at Pittsburgh and won those 2 cups. Like after that, I was like, he's
honestly,
gonna be the best goalie in the NHL.
I was very worried after the whole 2 years. After the 2 cups, I was very worried because it's like, man, you've only done this in the playoffs. You've only come up big when like it's like those you have to moments sort of things. And that worried me because let's be serious, like his regular seasons were not good even in those periods of time when he was winning cups.
Not great. Well, his first year was. He had in 49 games goals against average at 2.4 and a save percentage at 9.923. So that's pretty good. Like that's starting goalie numbers for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the year before, like
never consistent, you know.
It wasn't like he was really good. We won the cup in the first year. He was incredible all year, and then the next year he took a bit of a hit. It wasn't terrible though, and we're like, okay, whatever. It was the years like coming after the cups but like he had won 2 cups, and he's 23 at the time. Like goalies don't come into the league at a young age and dominate, so that's why everyone and me.
Like I thought it was a good idea to move on from him because I was like,
so did I.
You're never gonna get anything better out of this guy.
And the way Jari played
there's
too,
no way you get more out of him. So like you just move on because
I agree.
Just out of odds and like life in general, like what are the chances he's gonna bring you another cup after winning 2?
Yeah,
like it just
that trade we did with Ottawa was awesome. I'm so happy we did that trade because we knew we weren't gonna pay him. We're not paying him that much. If he was gonna come back at $3 million, I bet Pittsburgh kept him. I bet he's a Penguin right now. If he said I will sign a 3-year, $3 million deal, I guarantee you Rutherford signs that. Guarantee you.
Yeah, or even 4, I would think.
Yeah,
5. You know.
Yeah. Well, because of Jari just signed a deal, I think at like 3, it would have to be equal to Jari's, so 3.5 at most for him to sign. But definitely would have been open to keeping him. But glad we didn't. Based on this, I feel bad. I hope he really turns his game around. Really hope that turns around.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big
good
fan
for Philip Gustafson.
Played it.
Yeah, let's move on to a waiver clear that maybe we don't. I don't want to say anything too negative, but he's definitely not we don't like him as much as Matt Murray. Evander Kane clears waivers, and the Sharks he's eligible to play, I believe, next week, actually. Maybe now. It might be right now, I can't remember, but it's really soon. His suspension's up, and the Sharks are not going to play him. They're looking to trade him, they said, and are willing to retain 50% of the salary just to get him out. I have heard Vancouver was interested, or is somewhat interested, which, oh boy, that is the worst decision in the world if Vancouver does that, because that's not the type of player you want in the dressing room, or person you want in the dressing room, I guess. So
it might make them think about only hockey, which might be a good thing.
True. But I think there's so much more. That's terrifying if you're a Canucks fan and that happens, because that's 2 trades where your GM that should be fired or not re-signed at least this year made 2 trades that have changed your team for the next 3 to 5 years. If he does that, so I don't know. I really don't know what's going to go on with this Kane thing. I honestly wonder if the Sharks get to the point where they go, we're going to bury him and terminate his contract. Just take the hit or buy him out, or don't care financially. They just need him gone. So I don't know. Or they'll do what the Rangers did with Tony DeAngelo. Just hold him in the minors. Don't even play him in the minors and just wait to buy him out until his contract's more favorable to buy out. So
honestly,
I don't know. So let's just think. You guys are GMs. What do you do with Evander Kane? What's your first plan of action? And then if it doesn't work out, second and third. I'll start with Jordan. What would you do?
I mean, the first thing is I'm talking to him about how we can get this contract gone.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure he just as much wants to be out of there now.
Yeah, well, I don't think he cares where he plays as long as he's getting his NHL money. Frankly, based on financially, yeah, I don't know, Chase. These situations are the worst to deal with if you're a GM. The worst, because it's not even a player that you're he's a bad contract, but the guys like him and he does try. So you can still put him in the lineup even though his contract sucks.
Yeah, or like a vet or something.
Yeah, or a vet, or like I would take Jeff Skinner's contract over Evander Kane's any day. Any day.
On it. Yeah. So, no, like I just hang out. That's all you do this year.
Just bury him.
Just hang out.
Well, unless you can trade him, frankly, then you accept anything they offer you.
Yep.
Because the Sharks are not in a place to win. So as long as it works number-wise, you just get rid of him. Sorry, you were saying.
And I don't think anybody's gonna pay for him.
No.
So I think they're gonna be talking to San Jose like did their GM leave, go on a personal leave? Like,
yeah, he just did. He left on a medical leave or something like that.
Yeah, because he's like showing you like he's got not doing this, you know. Like there's nothing that's gonna happen. I don't think there is.
No, I don't either.
It's all up to Evander Kane right now. Like nobody really wants him. He's gonna have to. I don't think something.
He will never put on a Sharks jersey again. I don't think. I genuinely don't think he'll ever put on a Sharks jersey again for the team.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't see how you can.
Maybe a baby shark.
Say that again, Jordan.
I said I don't even know if he puts on an NHL jersey.
That's honestly a very relevant. Did he? Yeah, like it's the he's not gonna play for the Sharks again because everyone on that team wants him gone. They don't like him. He's apparently really difficult to deal with, as we're finding out based on the summer he's had and the big suspension for the vaccine fake passport.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, I don't know. I just look at this guy and I'm like, just quit. Go to the KHL. If you need money, go to the KHL. Go to the KHL. Like the coaches will probably love you based the way you act, like in the K. So just go make some money, terminate your contract, mutually terminate, and go overseas if you want to keep playing and want to make good money. Because KHL team will pay him lots of money because he'll be the best player in the league. Probably up there at least. So at least top 5, I imagine. He's a good NHL player. He's a good hockey player. Not a good enough person.
Yeah.
Frankly, and that's what we were just talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a team game at the end of the day. Your individual ability only gets you so far.
This is the most team-oriented game sport probably out there.
Well, yeah, like honestly, I feel like Vancouver would be the only team that would do this because who's desperate enough to just we need to do something. Like
that's why I'm scared of Vancouver.
Everybody anyways, but like you'll just end up getting yourself stuck with a contract, and like it's the only place that's even relevantly like could be possible because they're that desperate right now.
Yeah, if they can make money wise, if they can make it work, you know. Oh yeah, they look desperate.
No, it's not going to happen. I don't think he gets traded. I don't think he gets moved anywhere this year. Like I said,
I don't
100%. This is weighted out this year for sure.
So he's got 4 years left.
Yeah, another 3.
What do you after this year he's got another 3. So what do you do? Do you wait the 3 years? Do you buy him out after this year? Do you bury him for 2 more years and then buy him out? Do you terminate? Like
I'd have to check how much his buyout is and take a look at how much that would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you wait it out. You try and file some random crap or something to be able to terminate this guy's contract instead of just buying it out. Like, is there a buyout termination or something that you can pull off that
here's
you can at least get a little bit less of your buyout going on because of all of this random stuff going on, you know?
So,
like, if there's any sort of option like that, like, I know it's unfair to all the other teams if, like, oh, well, we could just create a turmoil thing and whatever and act like we can have cheaper buyouts and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's too stingy or something.
I have the numbers right in front of me, the buyout numbers. So how it would go if they did it today, if they bought him out today,
you can't buy him out right now. You'd have to buy him out at the start of next year.
Okay, well, I just have it up today because I wasn't going to kerfuckle around with the dates. So, but it would be 3.6. Can you do that legally? I don't know. I don't know when the buyout window. Or no, okay, so it's in June 15th, 2022. This is when it is. So
yeah, like when you'd be able to buy them out.
Yeah, and so the cap hit would be if at the end of the summer they do this. Next year 3.6, the year after 2.6, year after 4.6, and then it drops for the next 3 years to 1.6. So it's actually not that bad of a buyout. And I wonder if you at the end of the year just do it. 6 years, 3 of those years is under $2 million. At the end, you only have 1 year where it's like $5 million that hurts you, but you're probably in a rebuild at that moment in 2024-25.
Yeah, you save $5 million, I guess.
I don't think it's the money issue that you're looking at. Like, it's the like that sucks. It's just like it's definitely a bonus. Like just get him officially out. Don't have him a part of the team. Not even have a contract. Deal with it, right?
If you buy him out next year, the cap hit doesn't change or anything. Like, yeah, you wouldn't have that 3.6 next year. You'd have his full contract, but the next year it would still be 2.6 and 4.6, and then the last 3, or I guess it'd only be 2 years at 1.66.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'd
probably do it.
Like, I'd probably buy him out next year. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I wouldn't
be too crazy.
I would buy him out.
I don't know. I don't like buying out.
But there's exceptions. Like this is a player where you're like it makes the most sense.
Yeah, like where we're at in the moment and what's going on. Like the decision. If I had to make the decision right now for some reason, I'd buy him out next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like you try and trade him by now to then. If you don't do it, see if he's willing to terminate his contract with you, so you both don't take cap hit or whatever. I don't know how that works. Terminating a contract doesn't happen that often.
Too bad the only other bad contracts that would be tradable with are on your own team.
Yeah, true. Well,
Pickles and like
Jeff Skinner. You trade him for Jeff Skinner.
He likes playing there, so like good luck with that.
Yeah. No, it's looking like probably a buyout. You see if you can trade or terminate, but if not, just do it. Bite the bullet, get him gone. Don't deal with that type of person on your team again. And I remember when he signed that deal, because I was sitting in class and I texted my dad saying, "Oh boy, they're gonna regret this contract." And he's like, "Oh, big time." I didn't think it would be for this reason, but I knew they'd fucking regret this contract for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was too much.
Way too much money, way too long.
It was gonna have,
and it was after a year that he had the best year of his career at like 31, 32 or something like that. Or sorry, 28-ish when he signed it. Like 28. So he wasn't going to do much better.
The only destination he's got is the old Arizona Coyotes. And the only way you're getting him on that team is if you give the Arizona Coyotes something. So
yep. And something pretty decent too. So I wonder what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know why you'd trade for this player. He had issues in Winnipeg. He's had issues in San Jose now. It's...
All you had to do was not get Kane, and you could have kept everybody else, and then you would have just...
Yep.
I feel like the random guys would have played better and stuff like that. Like your LeBancs and...
For sure.
Even like Myers or something, Like Meyer even would have been even better.
Could have been.
Just without a guy like that.
It was just that 1 year that 1 or 2 years Evander Kane was like really solid. Like he's always been a good hockey player for them. Like I don't want to say that. Like he's always been super good, 20 goal scorer, net front presence guy. But like when you make everyone else on your team hate going to the rink and hate being around, like they're not going to play as good. And we just mentioned it's a team-oriented sport. Very team-oriented. You can't win with one good player. So no, it's hopefully this just gets like we said.
Yeah, like
this is just news coming out. It's not gonna be dealt with right away. We know that. We should all know that, but it's still news to kind of bring up and discuss. Let's finish off.
Never needed them. You guys never needed them.
No,
like
for sure.
In this trap, man. You never needed to make these big moves that were.
It's because I get it though. I get it though. Like you're right there. You signed like another next level guy you think you can push over the edge.
Trying to win for Joe Thornton,
Yeah.
Well, and they're a big market too, right? Like you got to think
when they're winning,
It's got to be one of the nicest places to live.
Yeah, for player wise, like those California teams are like the best teams to go to because nobody recognizes them out in public at all because of how many sports. There's like for LA, for example, there's like 6 or 7 massive sports franchises there, like massive. That are bigger. Their soccer team is bigger.
Soccer teams.
Yeah, like at least one of their soccer teams is bigger than their NHL team. So it's just, it's a great place to live and all that for sure. And they were winning. Like San Jose was sick. They were so good. Like they were every year they were in top 4 pretty much. Final 4. Exactly. They were like Vegas before Vegas is. Like, or like as Vegas was becoming. So I don't know. Hopefully they can deal with it, but like I said, it won't be dealt with. So let's move into our final kind of segment of the podcast. We're gonna talk a lot about Seattle here. This is just gonna be Seattle. Maybe talk about some expansion mistakes they made, and just go from there. Chase, I'll let you kick it off because I know this is the topic you specifically wanted to talk about. So I'll let you start it up.
Well, I'll start by just saying that old Nathan Bastian, let's start there, just got claimed back by his former team. So clearly, I don't know, did they just not talk to him, not figure out if he actually wanted to play on the team? Or I thought that was half of what Seattle did and why they picked most of these guys was because those guys actually wanted to play in Seattle and they wanted that opportunity and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So it's real rattling to me seeing somebody like that leaving because it really, I guess there's a lot of
there's a lot of names that
like one that really confuses me is that Columbus with that Bayreuther. I still don't understand that. Like I don't know what to say because I feel like they could have gotten so much more out of this expansion draft. Like
I agree.
What I'm gonna say is like Domi could have helped so much on the ice. Like I know it may not be something that's long term and like maybe he's not the best locker room guy to gel with the guys you pick. I don't know like what they were thinking, but
yeah,
like it helps on the ice and you need it.
Yeah,
you need that right now. You might as well be good when you have most likely sold out seats. You would assume all year. Like you gotta put a team out there.
Well,
like Vegas did. Like I don't.
You're right on the nose with the Domi based on who they picked. They picked Gavin Bayreuther. Guess where he's playing? Columbus.
He went right back.
Right back. Didn't sign with them and signed back with Columbus. Like, didn't make sense. I don't know. To me, like Domi traded at the deadline at 50% retained is definitely worth a 3rd round pick, even if he's kind of struggling. To a team that's like maybe has a top 6 guy injured and needs some skill, or just want to get some skill ball him in the lineup. Like
what happened with Colorado there? Like why was it Donskoy over Compher? Was Compher 100% saying I ain't going there and I ain't doing that? Is that what happened?
Would he have been an RFA though?
That could have been.
Could have been.
No, I don't think. No, he still had his contract. I'm just.
Oh, did he?
Like, what was the actual decision there? Because
it can't just say no. But...
future team trying to grow a team and make a team, you're taking a 29-year-old over this 26-year-old, and I did like that. And like we're talking Compher and Donskoy, there is probably not much difference to these guys. Yeah, Compher didn't look like Donskoy the last few years, but the guy was 25, 24, growing. He can look like Donskoy in the next. You'll have him looking like how Donskoy was playing the last couple of years. That could have been Compher. Like that's what's happening right now. Like a smart GM should have seen that and made that move. I picked Donskoy myself. I think I first took Compher and then I went back and I went with Donskoy because of how he's been playing.
Yeah, I picked Donskoy because I just thought he's the perfect gel player on the top 6, and I still think that way. But
I also only picked I picked Donskoy. Not picking Eberle. Like I didn't have Eberle on my team for like quite a while. I think I reluctantly took him at the end because it was like a guaranteed thing that he was going to get picked. So that wasn't even my pick was actually Kiefer Bellows off that team. So
me too.
I was taking Donskoy simply because he was a little bit more veteran-esque or something like that.
Right.
But like I said, a smart GM should have seen that JT Compher was definitely the pick.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple guys where you're like, why? Like, just why did you make that pick? Doesn't really make sense. Right now, I am with Torrens.
Like any of those Voracek or somebody, like you could have done something there. Like, why did you take Carson Tarwinski? Like, I don't understand. Like, take somebody that has actual value. I've said this about like Johansson and Duchesne. Like, I understand it's a big, uglier contract and stuff like that, but you can take one of these big, uglier contracts. Like, at least take a chance. It seemed like they took the safest pick they could possibly take out of everybody.
Yeah.
On every team, like the safest.
I don't even know if it was the
safest. They didn't want to take Domi because he might have stepped over a few guys that they wanted to do well, or that they like I don't exactly, man. Like,
yeah, I don't know. You want internal competition, which doesn't make sense. The big one I'm looking at right now, Curtis McDermott. That one makes zero sense to me. Cale Clegg's sitting right there.
No, I'm not playing on your team. Like, this is what I really want to know.
Like, what's going on? You bringing that up though, like of saying like, oh, I won't play for your team. What player in the NHL does that now when they're under contract and if they're not being protected, there's a fucking reason. No player has anything to stand on when they are available, unless it was like the couple that were like free agents that they signed. Like that's completely, but that's a completely different like.
And once
expansion
again,
type
didn't take advantage of that. Like, why didn't you take advantage of that? You
take Clegg, take Grunstrom,
Tyler Benson, and got Adam Larson. You like,
exactly.
I'm so rattled.
There's a lot wrong.
They didn't try to take any advantage over anybody at all. It's like the fact that they didn't try to take advantage of anybody is going to pay off for them later. Yep. Like, the teams are going to make good moves with you later. Nobody's going to do that for Vegas. That's what the situation they put themselves in by doing all this.
Yeah.
They don't care.
There's also
better than yours, you know?
Like, there's also a couple picks that were made that we definitely backed up and are regretting backing up right now. Hayden Fleury is probably number one on that list, where people are like, that makes a lot of sense. Because to me, I instantly thought that's perfect. That's a perfect player to get. Hey, you take Hayden Fleury. Like, who else really was there? There wasn't much.
Henrique, man.
Like, Henrique, yes. But, like, that's... You're also think back to, like, what you just said. Oh, why take the 29-year-old? Why take the 31-year-old at a $6 million contract? So, like, I understand not taking the contract.
Yeah, you would only take one of those two guys out of a Donskoy or
and, like, if I go back in time, the only one I think, like, maybe go with like a Gouli or Mahura because they're younger than Fleury. But like, I don't know. That one seemed like a slam dunk to me, Hayden Fleury.
And in all reality, that was a pick. That was more of a future pick. That wasn't like, this guy's going to be for sure awesome for you this year.
No, but he's disappointed so bad that
definitely, exactly. Hey.
Same with Vince Dunn. I look at Vince Dunn. I still don't like say that's a bad move, but like Senko, he's not great defensively. He's just not a top four guy. Like, I guess that's why St. Louis wasn't putting him in the top four. Makes sense. Like,
I noticed that maybe they're right. Him and like Fleury, like those are definitely two bottom pairing defensemen in an offensive role, and you pick two of them and you're trying to play both.
You should take one. You take one. And that's why like the Tarasenko, and Tarasenko made a lot of sense too, in the sense of wait a year, trade him next year at the deadline, worst case, for 50% retained, or this year. Like, I know St. Louis or the Blues couldn't do it, but he's gonna score better. Like, I don't know, there's a couple where you're like, yeah, probably should have made that move. But oh boy, Jordan, is there anyone that we haven't mentioned that you're looking at? Like, oh boy, why didn't you just...
Somebody that I thought was a very smart pick was Cole Lind, but so far it hasn't seemed like that team has been that enthused with him. So I would have definitely thought that taking Holtby would have been the right choice after how he's played.
And then not taking Vanacek and just trading him anyways, and taking someone better at Washington, or not taking Decord in Ottawa and taking someone better. And I know he's more of a future pick, but like, still, there's so many options. Like you said with the Vancouver of it all, like, instead of taking him again, that one most of us probably defended better than anyone. There's a couple guys that you definitely could have taken a chance on, and wouldn't have been that bad choice. I do like the Holtby. He's probably a better goalie.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly. Hey,
I don't know. There's some bad ones.
Yeah, like just really so strange. Like I said, just not maximizing. No attempt to actually maximize their value out of anything whatsoever.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like, there's just some guys I just look at here and I'm like, oh boy. Why?
Yeah, Seattle? Like I don't understand the Johansson Duchesne thing. Like, how do you not just take a chance on a guy that at least has like a good track record of being a good player? Like, none of your players that you've picked have done as good as both of those players have done at points in their career. I know it doesn't look great, but
right.
Like,
I look at Cal Yarncroc a little different in the sense of he's not.
His ceiling is just nowhere. Like, that's what I don't understand. Is he took
but
he's got
a good value. He's got good value to a playoff push team, so you can get something back for him. So that's why I don't want to like shit on that deal, because you're not getting a trade in Duchesne.
What if they don't trade these guys though? Like, they picked a lot of guys with decent contracts.
No,
what if they
fair.
actually don't trade some of these guys and get like nothing for them, or just keep them?
I agree
for like a super long time or something.
No, that's a very valid point. That they might keep them and ruin it. But I'm not willing to say right now I would have taken Johansson or Duchesne over Yarncroc because of the value you can get out of a Yarncroc in a trade. That is it.
Yeah.
Now, ask me again, like, not this coming off season, but the next one maybe. He's still there and, like, is a free agent. It's a bad pick. If he hasn't scoring at a pace.
Somewhere else next year, that would be just...
But if you can get something out of him, I'm not as upset about... It's the Domi thing. Like, why don't you trade for Domi and get something out of him if you suck? Yeah, thrive for the best, prepare for the worst. Like, it's the most obvious thing you can do as a person, not as a GM. Like, you give yourself the best opportunity that if it doesn't work out, you could fix it. And that was a nice thing they did about not taking certain cap. But then they ended up taking stupid players instead of a little bit of cap. Instead of taking like a $3 million contract, they're like, oh, I'm going to take Will Borgen. Okay. Yeah. Like, he's all right, young player, decent. Oh, I'm going to take John Quinville. It's like, okay, like, what? Why are these guys being picked in expansion draft? If you like these mediocre players like that, have fun for the next 8 years to 10 years being mediocre and not being able to get a superstar. They dug themselves a hole that can only be fixed if Matthew Beniers is like the best player we've ever seen next year or something for this team, and like McCann and people like that can step up and be a top six, a real top six contributor and play well.
Like, it's gonna take years to get like you have no foundation, because like I said, you just keep giving these guys away. You have like 30 contracts in total. Like, you're not even trying to get like an extra highly touted prospect here and there. Like, your highly touted prospect is Cole Lynn. They're not talking too high about him exactly.
Yeah, so. Like behind Beniers, like Cole Lynn's their best prospect, which is terrifying. That's awful to say. No, it's just there's a lot of decisions they made where it's
didn't get picks. Like, now you don't have like that. Like,
they relied on that so bad, on the picks. On getting
picks. They have to draft well. Like, what if they don't draft good?
Yeah.
What if you guys miss on picks like most teams?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's teams that have good drafting and good people in those organizations, and I don't know, they just have off years or they miss picks or something. Like, I don't know. That's drafting. Yep. Like, you only gave yourself 7 chances. Like, I just don't understand. Like,
for sure. Absolutely.
And they should have been one of those teams that was saying, like, well, you want this pick? We'll trade down like all day. All day we'll trade down. They should have that out.
They should have went
they could
to a like Colorado and been like, oh, you want to keep Donskoy? Okay, give us a second round pick and we won't pick him. And they'll be like, okay. But you're like, no, a first and a third, and we stick to that.
Exactly. Like, what's the...
Got to have a little bit of...
They helped no one. Like, they helped nobody in the league, and I don't understand that. You have a chance to help people in the league.
And Arizona took that.
People could have confused, but Vegas did that for teams. They helped teams.
They took bad contracts. They took like 2 or 3 bad contracts. Like, that didn't even play.
Yeah. Like, you could have taken Donskoy. Would you... is there a
Why didn't you say, like...
trade him back?
Yeah, why
retained or something like that?
Didn't Eric Johnson waive his no move? Did Eric Johnson waive his no move?
I don't know if it mattered because like other guys haven't even played, but probably.
I think he did because that's how they had to trade Graves and they protected Taves, Makar, and Gerard. was the 3 defensemen. So yeah, Eric Johnson would have waived his no move. Why don't you call Colorado and say, hey, you got him to waive it, we'll pick him, but give us a first. And there's $6 million to Colorado. And like,
yeah, exactly. Hey,
and it's just, I don't know why you don't do stuff like that. Or like, there's a couple guys that waived it, like Lucic did. And I know Lucic is playing well right now, but like at the time, if you call Calgary and be like, yo, if you give me a first, I'll take Lucic. Give me a first and a third, and I will take him all day. Like, give me picks, and just do that. There's bad enough contracts around the league and dumb enough GMs that you can fleece people with taking contracts.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I wouldn't have went too deep on like the worst contracts, but like I would have definitely worked out ways where I'm taking an extra few forwards and I'm moving them around the league to help this team and whatnot. Like if I can't pick Donskoy, retain him, and trade him back to him, then I'm figuring out like how can I move that guy to somewhere else, or pick another guy and make a move so then you're getting like some round picks, some third round picks.
You keep like 3 of those guys.
First round picks. You don't need to get a first round pick like Vegas, but you need to pretend that like you're trying to maximize this expansion draft.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of what you have in front of you. Yeah. And just because you say you don't want to be like Vegas and like give 2 expectations, like it doesn't matter. Like they did stuff. They were good on top of doing the right things.
Yeah.
Like they skipped the doing the right things and said, nope, we're not going to be like Vegas. Don't have expectations for us, which they were right to say. And they want cap space, which sure they got. But they dug themselves a multiple year long hole that is only fixed if they make deals that if they win a lot of trades, which is very hard to do.
Yeah,
especially in hockey, especially in the NHL.
Exactly. They have to do that, or all these players have to get so much better. And
I don't see anyone on this team being a superstar.
Their young guys have to be so much better, or come in and make an impact in the Beniers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like take out Beniers.
They're young guys. They have Jared McCann. They have Mason Appleton.
Not a superstar.
Donato,
not a superstar.
Morgan Geekie.
Nope.
Those guys are all 25 and under. Those are their forwards.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody's 29, man.
Yeah, that's not great.
Wenberg's 27. That's your.
Yeah,
like he's your other guy that's a possibility to do much better because he's not at that 28, 29, 30. Like he might do great, but like we just saw Donskoy probably play his best hockey the last 2 years. Like
in Florida. Yeah, there's a couple picks I looked at and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's not necessarily worked out, but you really had no other option. Like I look at Blackwell and I'm like, okay, who else would they have picked out of the Rangers? There's like no one. That's fine. Like, you're gonna miss. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna miss on. Yeah, that's true. Could have taken that Gauthier, but like, I don't think that's
at least got more upside. Like,
there's a couple of picks.
You didn't need to take Colin Blackwell because you could call Kelly Yarncroke. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
fair enough. There's a couple of guys where it made sense, but what I think what screwed them honestly is Grubauer, and like I love Grubauer. I think he's awesome, but like he screwed their goalie situation. They had to take Vanacek, Decord, and Drieger. Well, you have to take 3 goalies out of the expansion draft.
Right.
And then you sign one who's your starting goalie. If you're gonna do that, why didn't you just pick up a young goalie? Wasn't Philip Gustafson? Or no, they protected Gustafson over Ottawa, and they picked Decord anyways, so it wouldn't have mattered. But like, there's definitely. I bet if I went through, I'd have to like sift through all the teams and look at the goaltending quick. Bet there was another young goalie you could have taken that was like, all right.
Yeah, like Minnesota's Cockton.
Yep. That's one. I'm thinking even maybe younger that like isn't NHL ready if you are going to sign someone. No Tyler Parsons from Calgary. He's 23. I mean, no, he's probably not got like the best upside, but they only took, who did they take out Calgary again? Oh, Giordano. So like, but there's options out there. There's a lot of young goalies I'm sure you could have taken a chance on. That would have been better if you.
Yeah, and
it's just the Grubauer thing, like and then they trade a second for Vanacek.
Like maybe Vegas went in being smart about the whole UFA thing. Maybe McPhee was like, I can't trust the UFA market because like one, you can't, and one, you don't know what's going to happen. You're like picking your team or something like that, and then you're just hoping these guys will sign or something like that. Like it just seems so far fetched, and I understand why Seattle picked those guys and signed them to make sure that that middle period didn't happen and they lost guys. But did Vegas know? Did they know that was probably not a good idea? Because if you do that, all of a sudden things change, and this whole thing you've been thinking about for the last 2 years, trying to plan this out, it all fell apart because this all of a sudden this guy can come on your team, and that changed absolutely everything out of your picks.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, what would you have done differently now if you knew that Grubauer was coming or something like that?
Yeah, like, that's true. It's definitely, but like, why? My bigger question is, why did they trade Vanacek right away? Why didn't you wait? Why don't you let some? Edmonton was so close to getting Kemper. Why didn't you sell him to Edmonton for a first?
Yeah, like
second and a third.
I would have done what Dallas did and have 3 or 4 goalies. Yep. Been like, you guys want to not pay for a goalie? Like, I don't care. Like I know this sucks for those guys, but
they're not going to get the best out of them. But
I know you'll pay for a goalie. Like, you know,
there's
teams,
I know
somebody will pay for a goalie.
There's definitely a couple teams out there that will pay for a goalie, and
like I said, it's like he's trying to make good relationships, but yet did absolutely nothing for these teams. Yeah. So, like, you made no good relationship. You may as well have done what Vegas did and pissed everybody off in the end because.
But like, I don't see why
they ended up doing good.
Can we like
taking advantage of the expansion and making them feel dumb? Like, it's not taking advantage; it's actually using the expansion draft. Like that's what it was for, was it not? That's
my thought
you
with
could
it
make
more,
trades in it. That was the point, you know. Like
my issue with it more is, why are you worried about being buddy with everyone when you're different teams? Isn't the whole point of hockey and sports to play against someone? Why are you trying to be buddy? I'm not saying like be an asshole and be like if someone's like wife gets sick or something, be like, haha, your wife's sick. Like that's an awful thing to do. Don't do that. Be nice and be like, I'm sorry to hear this, but like you don't just be like, hey, do you want me to help you out with this trade here? It's like, he's like, I can steal this guy, but like I want you to get a little piece out of it too to help. No, you're just gonna go yoink. Thanks for the terrible trade. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to rip off other GMs. That's what makes a good GM.
That's how you survive.
It's how you survive. It's how your team wins.
Become great.
It's how your team become. Yeah, like I don't understand the whole. Was Steve Yzerman ever a nice GM with Tampa? No.
Oh, I'm sure he's a prick, man.
He did what he needed to do to get the players he wanted. I heard,
he's very stern. Like he's very stern.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with doing your job right and better and using it to your advantage? It's I don't know. You're not hurting anyone's feelings by stealing away a player from them that they want when they couldn't get it done themselves.
Yeah, there was at least 1 or 2 moves you could have made to take advantage of somebody here.
Absolutely.
But you just didn't. And guess what? Arizona took advantage of it.
Oh, yeah. Arizona had the best. I think Arizona, we glorify their offseason more because of how poor Seattle's was.
Yeah.
In hindsight. Like
they did exactly what
Arizona jumped the gun before. Yeah, Arizona decided we're going to do what Seattle's not going to do before Seattle even thought about it. Like that's the issue. So no, I don't know. It's just a couple of moves I didn't like. Jordan, Jordan, do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, I think overall it was just really poor. I think a lot more planning could have gone into a lot of these picks.
I know what I also wonder. I wonder if they overplanned at times.
That too, yeah.
I wonder if they overthought like too meticulously, where it's like just pick young guys who have good upside. If they have good upside, they're gonna get better than what they currently are. So why, like what Chase was saying, why take someone who's 28, is what he is, instead of a younger guy who's probably worse, like Comfer and Donskoy maybe.
Yeah.
But he's got that upside, so he could be equal or even better. And if he's not, you took the gamble. Guess what? Another team is probably willing to try and take the gamble on a young player like that one more time again. For a pick, you can get something out of, hypothetically, they take Comfer and he sucks, let's say, like Donskoy has. You still probably trade him for, what, a third? And a fourth?
Yeah,
low end prospect,
and he's 26, and
he's
like
26.
You have another couple years. Like I'll put it simply like this: like the years that you are comfortable, the years you saw that made you comfortable with picking and taking these Eberle, Schwartz, Gord, Donskoy, and Tanev. All those years are the years you could have got from Comper, you know?
Yep.
Like that's what I'm trying to get at, is that like you watch these guys, you trusted them out of these three middle 27 to 20 or 30 years old. Those years, those, you know, like those are your good years, man.
Absolutely.
Like, and you took them based off of how they played those years. Not like I'll take a guy who's going into those years, like a Jared McCann, that was the one. Mason Appleton, that was the one. Donato, that was your one. Morgan Geekie, that was your. No, those aren't. That's one. You picked one guy for this. Two guys.
Got to have people fighting each other for the top line center role. That's what Vegas did. Yeah. Vegas fought each other. Yeah, it's so good for teams. You need competition to line up to show, so people can't get complacent and think, "Oh, my spot's safe."
Mm-hmm.
Which athletes have all the time. Tons of different athletes have had that.
Yeah, they pick too many guys that you know who they are.
Yep,
you pick way too many guys you know.
And it's okay to take a couple of them. It's okay to take like 3 or 4, like maybe 2, 3 forwards and like 2 defensemen or 3 defensemen maybe. Like
you went a couple too far for sure. Is what I think. Yeah.
I think half of your draft should be young guys, either whether they're NHL players or not quite. Half of your draft at minimum should be guys who are under the age of 25 and you think can.
Yeah, in that middle 24 to 26 range, exactly, 27 even or whatever. But
I say under 25.
It's weird how young their defense is, like Geo 38 and all, but like everybody.
Yeah, that adds the average.
28, 29, and Alexiak and Larson, like decent. I like how they pick their defense, I guess, like for age.
It's all right
and like future wise, but
there's just some in there that you're like, why did you like Bayreuther? Why McDermott? Why? Like those are some defense that you're looking at. Like I like Liaison, but it's also like a kind of a why.
He's kind of like exactly like your Fleury and your Dunn.
He is. But he's already that. He's kind of already that.
Yeah, and you picked Will Borgen. You know, like how many of the same types of left-handed defensemen do you need? You know, you got 4 of them now.
There's a couple guys that like Vince Dunn. They did what we are asking them to do. They're like, we went younger, and the guy who had promised made sense. He just hasn't worked out, which is unfortunate. Same with like a McCann. Like that one was a slam dunk. And I don't think McCann's not been bad. But he definitely hasn't.
Awesome.
He's been real good. Awesome, but they wanted a little more out of him probably than what they're getting. But I'm sure they could ask that about every player. Dennis Cholowski, another guy, same guy.
Yeah, that was the other guy that I was thinking about. Yeah,
Cholowski's the exact same. And then you go out and get Alexiak. He's on. Is he even on them?
His contract's not even on this.
I think he's on Washington. Right now, actually, I think I read somewhere he.
Right. Yeah. About that.
Yeah, we claimed him flavor.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Like, how do you lose that?
Why did you why did you do this stuff? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, literally, you gave him up for nothing.
You gotta take guys that aren't waiver eligible as much too with the young. That's another point with it.
I don't think you have a choice because all these guys are like 24 or something. All the guys that are eligible.
In certain cases, you don't have a choice for sure.
But like you don't want to put yourself in a situation like this. Like
a lot of issues.
How did this happen where you claimed Baribeau and he ended up going back? Like, how does that happen? Like, I don't figure out Mount to keep him, or I don't. I guess that was all COVID stuff, and there was no way. That was like the weirdest trade. I'm pretty sure Tampa just traded him to him for like
it's probably to
2 games,
help
so then they could play a full team,
and so that maybe he could get a chance at like a top line. Like Barbelet, like play some top 6. They need guys desperately. Maybe you'll get a chance and show me. Here's like your chance to show me.
Yeah, because at the time they didn't have much room for him. They had everybody was still healthy, I think. So
Point was coach.
Everybody was actually healthy. That was the start of the year. But I don't hate this team. Like, I've been pumping their tires decently. I haven't given up on them. I still believe they can get that last playoff spot. But like, Jesus, man, like I feel like you can really do a lot more. Like, I'm just disappointed. Just so disappointed with this expansion draft.
Yeah, I'm honestly like, I won't be surprised if they somehow squeeze in the last spot, but I'm done with this team being a playoff team, and I'm not saying that they're not going to be like 1 point out and all that. Like, they definitely could be.
Yeah.
I think they'll be somewhat in the hunt. I think they'll be somewhat in the hunt, but I think they dug themselves a hole that's impossible to get out. Same with teams like Vancouver and Montreal.
Yeah, I have given up on Vancouver. Like, that's bad. What the hell, man? Holy crap.
They barely beat the Habs. They barely beat the Habs yesterday. Well, they won yesterday, so they're not quite. But
oh wow, good job.
So one, they got one win in that. Basically,
you guys.
Here, I'll find out their last 10
in the league. That's just falling apart too. Like,
in their last 10, Vancouver is 2-8. 2-8.
Wow.
Minus 21 in goal difference. And Demko has been great.
Should we be talking about the old burger van?
Oh, that's the guy I missed. Okay, yeah. So let's close out the podcast with Burger Van. It's at the very top of the list. So I missed a couple of stuff that we'll have to talk about next week as well, like the Panarin and some New York stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the Habs quick and close off with that. Totally forgot about them. Yeah, so the old Burger Van fired.
Yeah, hey, what happened started? It started with like Mellanby walking.
Mellanby resigned. Like assistant GM Scott Mellanby resigns, and then they hired Jeff Gorton as executive VP of hockey ops, and then they fired Bergevin and are looking for a GM.
Yeah. Hey. Yep. Okay, so I'll kick it with what I feel about the old Burger Van, honestly, because I don't know. In all reality, I
don't hate him.
Burger Van for like. He traded and made moves toward a direction that I believed could work. And let's be serious, it did, in a sense. Like, they did get to the Stanley Cup final. This team wasn't built like garbage, you know? They could compete.
No, he made, Suzuki trade. I know Pacioretty's dope, but like, unbelievable. Yeah, some of the trades he made are awesome. Yeah, he's had some duds, like with Sergachev and Drouin.
That was like the only trade that was bad, which is...
Really
like bad. I said, I commend Bergevin for what he's done because I feel like he did absolutely everything he kind of could. Yeah, I'm sure there's always things that we could do better and stuff like that. But you also don't win all your trades, but you also usually don't win 75% of your trades.
True.
Which he did find a way to do that. But once again, like most GMs tend to be let go, just how it was the offseason. It was this offseason.
Yep.
You got fired for this offseason.
Yeah, because you constructed mismanagement with that. Not giving Suzuki any help. Leaving Cole Caulfield out to dry. Losing Danault. Signing players like Hoffman, which made a little bit of no sense.
Yeah, the old Band-Aid. Yeah.
There's a couple of guys that were definitely like, here's something to fill a hole. Yeah. Like... It's like when you put duct tape on like a crack. Like if you have a pool and you put duct tape on a crack of a hole, it's like, this will hold, but it's not going to forever.
Yeah, he should have not signed him and that Hoffman and just hung out and waited for exactly what's happening right now. Like, you know, I know they probably wouldn't take Max Domi back, but like Dylan Strome's out there. You know, there's names that start popping up left and right. So
I don't look at Hoffman though and say that's gonna save my team. I look at Hoffman as if you're a good team and sign Hoffman, I'm like, that's gonna help our power play substantially.
Like what happened with St.
And our 5-on-5 scoring a bit.
We need somebody to score. Like, we're just kind of missing that guy.
Yeah,
Hoffman or whatever.
Sanko was out for most of the year a little bit. I'm pretty sure he was last year, right?
That was huge having.
Yeah. So Hoffman filled in a role. Like, it's okay to do a 1-year deal of that. But what did he sign? 3 years?
But when you have 11, 12 other wingers already, and you have to like scratch a winger, you probably shouldn't scratch just to play him. Like,
I'd rather Matthew Perreault be playing at 950 than Mike Hoffman. Like, come on,
forcing Lehkonen and Armia on the fourth line. Like, that's gonna maximize them. Like, not maximizing your.
I love those guys. Are so good. Like, Armia and Lehkonen are so good defensively. Like, you had guys. You have Josh Anderson. Line. You have Brendan Gallagher. Toffoli can score. Like, Caulfield can score. Like, you have 2 elite scorers right there. Okay, maybe not like elite, but
needed to trade for another centerman, man. That is what they needed to do.
Or sign.
They needed to trade for a centerman
or sign a centerman for sure. There's issues.
But yeah, it was just this offseason. Like you did nothing wrong, Bergevin. I think you did as much as you could with what you had going on. You're in the situation where you're forced to win all because you're getting close to that Carey Price getting older and stuff like that. Well,
and keep in mind too, that is probably the second worst market in the NHL to be a GM of. The Habs. Yeah. Behind the Leafs.
Yeah, 100%. It's either them or the Rangers, right?
Yeah. Definitely at 2. And the next one's at 3. So, like, it's awful being GM and owners and, like, just high brass of teams like this because you're always wrong with him. Like Chase said, he's had some great trades, great moves, great decisions. It's going to be overshadowed because of Habs fans.
One offseason. Because of one
off season and Habs fans being who they are. They're crazy. Quebec people, by the way. Which,
it would have pulled a string to me if they let go of Danault. Like, if I was a Montreal fan,
absolutely,
losing Danault would have been very
that sucked.
Odd for me. I would have been very like, why would we do that? Especially for the fact that we were in that Kotkaniemi sort of crap. But once again, he put himself in that. This is where he failed. He failed this offseason. He mismanaged a little bit before with Kotkaniemi, and then he got to this offseason and he played a hardball with them and he failed.
There's a couple drafts too. I want to point out too. There's a couple drafts where it's like, come on.
Well, the old Logan Mayu pick.
Yeah, there's a couple picks where it's like, come on, don't be stupid. And then there's just other picks where it's like, okay, like you took a jump on a guy when you didn't need to. Like Kotkaniemi. Like, I like Kotkaniemi. I think he's an alright player. He just picked 3rd overall. I get he's a center. That's why you don't pick positional need in drafts unless it's
at the very top.
Tooth and nail.
At the very top. The highest rated guys in the first 3 or 4 picks because that's just how it is, man.
But Kotkaniemi was a 12th, 10 to 20 pick, not a 3. That's a big drop off.
Yeah, like I swear that's what Jim Gordon said was something about it sucks.
Jeff Gordon, you mean?
We didn't get a centerman out of that whole rebuild. That sucks, but I don't know. You have to you take what you take. The ball. You take the best,
and if they're good enough, you trade a winger for a center, like a young guy who's really talented.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you have to add a little bit, but it's just there's a couple of times where it's like. A couple duds that really hurt this Habs team over the years. And it's, it also doesn't help that they didn't get a chance to really rebuild properly with Price. They got Price and he was just a star. And then, we're too good to be bad and get good players.
Yeah.
But we're not good enough to win a cup.
Always stuck doing 2 different things. It's what these owners don't realize that they're doing to these GMs. Yeah. You're just forcing them to do 2 things and build and be the best. You can't.
It's so hard to develop and be good. You can make competitive.
You can make trades that look like you're growing and look like you're doing it or going for it. You can do that all you want, but pick one, and I bet things will go a lot better. And,
either go all in or fucking hold your cards close to you.
Yeah, look at what Columbus did. This team's still good all the time. We don't know why. They're kind of turning into the Minnesota Wild, where they're just always a good team.
Low market team on event. It's also, but they also don't have the press on them that pressures them into making these bad decisions.
Yeah, and Montreal did it anyways. Hey, the one time he had the pressure from his fan base, he went there and he got your Duchesne. He went all out.
Hey,
And it was kind of dumb. I didn't really like that you just go all out for it, but he's in a position where he got a pick. He just traded Seth Jones, got that 1st round pick. Who cares about those picks you guys just threw away now? These are the types of moves I would be making. That decision they made to get Duchesne. Go all out, and then in a year or 2, you have to make a move to get a top pick or something like that, or get a 1st round pick to garner back what you lost and went out for. And look at them. I don't disagree with that as much. It's instantly working. It's instantly. That's why you go all out and then take a different move. I
love that they went all out because they won a round. The fans will appreciate that for 10 more years now. It's also different markets too. It's so much easier being a GM in Columbus than it is in Montreal. If I had to listen,
I'm gonna put a gun to your face because you said I'm gonna take the year off in a sense here.
If I had to listen to people yelling at me at French all the time, I would make stupid moves all the time too, because I'd bash my head against the wall. Like, it's just no. I understand it. I like him as a GM. I don't want to say anything else because I know he was involved in the Chicago stuff, so I don't want to necessarily say he's a great person if he knew a lot, but won't get into that. It's just I like some of the moves he's made. Made a couple bad decisions, and this team limbo's too much, and they have for 15 years, 20 years. Yeah. Like they've been since they were competitive in like what is the early 90s or late? They won 93.
They're like the last team stuck in the whole Canada thing of the last 20 years. Like they still have Price, like Ottawa doesn't have Alfredson anymore.
Yeah, same guys. Like Calgary doesn't have a Ginla
around anymore. So exactly. They
Leafs don't have Sundin. They don't.
Ryan Smith, I guess, was your best player on Edmonton, or what?
Probably. Well, maybe you could throw in like an Eberle, Hall-ish, but they were out early. Yeah. Whatever. That was just the first round picks era, I think. Like for a while, and before that was
gone out of Vancouver. Like,
Sedin. So
everybody's moved on. I feel like you guys are kind of still stuck in that. Sadly,
you got rid of the Pacioretty and stuff, but that's it. Still got the Price.
I just really hope these Canadian teams actually can do this, man. Like we have actual players finally.
Well, there's some looking extremely good right now. Like the Leafs are extremely good right now. Edmonton Flames. I've talked in length about how good they were.
No doubt, man.
So, but no doubt. Do you guys have any final notes on Montreal before I close the podcast? Because this podcast got really long, really quick.
Word.
All right, let's close out the podcast then. Go follow us on our social medias at the Couch on Ice. Thanks for watching. We will catch you guys next episode. And check out our YouTube channel as well. It'd be great if you can like and subscribe and all that stuff and watch some of those videos. But I got nothing else to say, but we'll see you next week. Have a good week, guys.
See ya.